HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Welcome into The Drive. Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful Wednesday. We have a lot of baseball to get into. We are going to begin the show today with the Kansas City Royals, so we will have a random lineup coming for you in about 10 minutes or so. Joe Goldberg is also going to be on the show in the 3 o'clock hour. We're going to talk a little bit of NFL. We are continuing to get drips when it comes to the NFL schedule. The Thanksgiving Eve game has been announced. The league is taking a very, very heavy stance on the Los Angeles Rams. According to Netflix, no better place than the source, the Packers are going to play the Los Angeles Rams on Thanksgiving Eve. Still waiting to see the full schedule. We'll get that tomorrow. But the international games are out. We'll get to that in today's show. Netflix has announced at least the early portion of what games they're going to have. So we are starting to get more and more information about the NFL schedule. We got a little NBA to talk. We got a big game 5 coming up later today between the Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Victor Wembanyama continues to do things that basketball players have not done for quite some time, and everybody is waiting to see who can take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're going to have a lot of fun in today's show. We'll also make fun of the Broncos. We got a lot on our plates today. We'll get to it. Before we get to it, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the open of the show each day is brought to you by our good friends over at The Other Place. Stop by and get yourself some lunch from The Other Place. They got 12 lunch items. All of them cost just $8.99. You can get a burger, you can get a salad, you can get a pasta, a sandwich, a pizza, and a salad. Various combinations, all under $10. Go stop by any of the area Other Place locations. There's 5 around town, Monday through Friday from 11 to 3 o'clock. Stop in on your lunch break, grab yourself something to eat before you head back to work. Go see our friends over at The Other Place. I actually want to start today with the Royals, and I have a question more so than a monologue. You know, sometimes at 2 o'clock, it's me standing up on my soapbox and screaming. Sometimes I have a genuine question about the Kansas City Royals. We've talked about it on this show. The number one objective, and right now, honestly, the only objective for the Kansas City Royals is to get back to 500. Now, they are not that far from under 500. They're just 4 games under. They now currently find themselves in last place in their division, but we've talked about how tightly contested the American League Central is. Even though the Royals are in last place, only 3 games out of first place, all of these teams are very much banded together. So this is not going to be an overreaction on that part, but the question that I have with the Royals that I have been struggling with for the last 12 hours or so is this. What do the Royals do if the White Sox are good? Now, let me explain this a little bit further. Over the last couple of seasons, the Royals have lent belt to backside for the Chicago White Sox. Over the last 2 years, the Royals are 22-4 in their matchups against the Chicago White Sox. Now, the White Sox have not been a good team, but there has not been a team in Major League Baseball who has benefited more from playing the Chicago White Sox than your Kansas City Royals. Fast forward, the White Sox might be decent. I mean, the White Sox are 1 game under 500. If the White Sox win today against the Royals, they will be at 500, and the Royals will be 5 games under. They have been a better team so far than the Kansas City Royals have been. The Royals currently have a losing record against the Chicago White Sox. Now, I'm not here to undo the accomplishment of a couple of years ago in which the Royals went to the playoffs and won their wild card series and then faced the New York Yankees. But if you go back and look at it, the Royals were under 500 in 2024 against every other team in baseball outside of Chicago, and they went 12-1 against Chicago. I believe a lot of the success that the Royals had in 2024, and a large reason of why they made the postseason, was they were in the right division at the right time, and they were able to gobble up a whole lot of wins against the worst team in baseball. Follow it up last year. The Royals go 10-3 against the Chicago White Sox. The Royals are slightly over 500. You can say because they were in the Chicago White Sox division. If you add it up over the last 2 seasons, the Royals are 22-4 against the Chicago White Sox, not counting the games this year, in which they are 2-3 to kick off the season. But they went 22-4 and 24 and 25 against the rest of Major League Baseball. The Royals were 146 and 152. They were an under 500 team against every other team in Major League Baseball, other than when they were absolutely hammering the Chicago White Sox. Now, what you did in 2024, what you did in 2025, none of that matters. It is a new season. But now to 2026, the Royals don't appear to have the same support of just being able to gobble up wins against one team the way that they have in the last couple of years. So either the Royals have to get better against the rest of Major League Baseball, or the Royals are going to have to find a new team to just absolutely beat up on. Now, maybe that team is Minnesota. Maybe that team is still the Chicago White Sox. I doubt it. The White Sox just appear to be a better team than they've been over the last couple of years. But those wins got to come from somewhere. If this team is going to get back to 500, if this team is going to win 85 games or more, if you think this is a team that can threaten and challenge for a wild card spot, if you think this is a team that can challenge and threaten the Cleveland Guardians, you got to figure out a pathway to get to 85. You got to figure out a pathway to get to 86 wins. Last year, we used the Electoral College analogy a lot. Those were votes that you could count on every single year. You were not counting on losing that state. You knew that you had at least 10 wins coming against the Chicago White Sox, and you had to figure out the rest of it. Well, I don't know if the Royals have that this year. They might have 6 wins against the Chicago White Sox. 2 years ago, they had 13 wins against that team. Are they going to be able to make up the rest of the wins somewhere else? And very simply put, the Royals have to play better baseball against the rest of Major League Baseball than they have over the last 2.5 seasons. When they have played teams outside of the absolute worst teams, they have been a slightly below average team. They haven't been that far off, just 6 games under 500. That's a pretty big sample size. We're talking about almost 300 games that the Royals have played slightly under 500 baseball these last 2.5 years or so. The Royals need to take a small step forward, and that small step forward is the difference in you making the playoffs and not making the playoffs. That small step forward is the difference of you missing the playoffs or potentially having a chance to win your division. I'm curious what you guys think about these numbers. 913-586-7965. We'll read some of your text here coming up in a bit. So I was doing some Googles earlier today. In 24 and 25, the Royals went 22-4 against the White Sox. They were 146 and 152 against the rest of Major League Baseball. So far this season, the Royals are 2-3 against the White Sox. These were games that you would automatically count as wins for the Royals. You were happy to see the White Sox on the schedule. I don't know if you can say you feel that way in 2026. Not with the start that the White Sox have had, not with the start that the Royals have had. We'll get to your text coming up in just a little bit. Broncos fans are still complaining about where week 1 of the NFL season is going to be played, but you guys know the rules. Hit it, Rob.
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Carrington Today's Random Royals lineup takes us back to the year 2010, where on this date in Royals baseball history, the Royals won over the then Cleveland Indians 6-4, moving their record to 12-23 on the season. Woof.
That's my kind of Royals baseball.
Here was their lineup that day in 2010. Leading off in left field, Scott Podsednik.
You should have known right there. A team that had Scott Podsednik leading off was not going to be one of the better teams in the American League.
Batting second, the second baseman, Mike Aviles.
I like Mike Aviles. Still one of the cooler batting stances that I've ever seen. I don't play MLB The Show, the video game, but if I created a player, he's the batting stance that I would like for my player to have.
Batting third, the right fielder who had 2 hits this day, David DeJesus.
Steady. That's what he is. Steady Eddie. Just every single day. Pencil him in. He's going to do something that contributes to winning. They didn't win a whole lot, but he was going to do something that contributed to winning.
Batting fourth, the first baseman, Billy Butler.
Absolutely. What did he do that day?
1 for 4 with a RBI.
Okay, all right. You know what? David DeJesus and Billy Butler, they did what they were supposed to do. They can't help their teammates didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Jose Guillen.
One of my least favorite Royals of all time. If I had to make a Mount Rushmore of my least favorite Royals, he absolutely is on it. Him, Jonathan Sanchez, Neifi Perez. Let me think of who the fourth person would be.
Batting sixth, the third baseman, Alberto Callaspo.
I remember him. Not vividly, but I remember a little Alberto.
Batting seventh, the catcher, Brian Pena.
Terrible. Terrible. This team's falling apart.
Batting eighth, the center fielder, Mitch Meyer.
I remember Mitch.
And batting ninth, the shortstop, Yunieski Betancourt.
This team was bad at 1. This team was bad at 9. This team probably couldn't pitch. This team probably couldn't field and play defense. What did that team's record? What were they at the end of the season?
By the way, Zach Greinke started on this date in Royals history.
That was the only positive for that team.
8 strikeouts and gave up 3. His ERA ballooned to 2.73. Just to give you an idea. So
incredible.
This was the year Trey Hillman got fired. Actually, right after this win, he got fired. They finished.
They won and they still fired him.
They finished 67 and 95 that year.
Oh my goodness.
So not even near the worst Royals baseball we've seen.
Oh my goodness. Just absolutely terrible. Just terrible. All right, coming up on the other side, we are going to go through some of the Bronco fan complaints. Week 1 of the NFL season has been announced. The Broncos are going on the road to play the Kansas City Chiefs, and more Broncos fans and former players, they mad. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHAP.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-213-5757. That's 800-213-5757.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the high chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoff long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local and bet your same-game parlays. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know the feeling. It's 2 a.m. You're awake, running the numbers in your head. Payroll's coming. A client hasn't paid. Costs just went up. And you're thinking, how am I going to make this work? That's where LendSeek comes in.
That was me. I had payroll in 3 days and money tied up in receivables. I couldn't wait weeks for a bank. I went to LendSeek, and within minutes, I saw real funding options. They were clear, upfront, no games. By the next day, the money was in my account. Payroll went out, crisis over.
LendSeek uses AI to match your business with the right funding, up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours.
With LendSeek, it's not just funding, it's knowing you're covered when things get tight.
If you've been in business for at least 1 year with at least $500,000 annual revenue, apply today. No upfront costs, no prepaid penalties, because in business, waiting isn't an option. Start ready, stay ready with LendSeek. Apply at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. I hate to just go over the same points again and again. You know, you guys turn into the show for fresh, new takes, new ideas, new concepts, you know? But sometimes we have to go back to a story. Sometimes, even though it's the same commentary, we have new information, we have new data. Now, yesterday, if you missed the whole exchange, Adam Schefter said that the Chiefs and Broncos were going to play each other in week 1, but the league was trying to determine where the game was going to be. Broncos fans were all up in arms. We deserve the game. Well, the NFL has decided that the Chiefs are going to get the first matchup. September 14th, Monday Night Football, Chiefs and Broncos. Now, we're going to play for you some audio of people that are upset about this. We are going to play some sad violin music about people that are upset about this. But, folks, this is the thing that it confuses me the most. Is this college football? Is this college football? Is there just one game between the Chiefs and the Broncos? Now, I could understand if this was college football and at the end of the last season, the SEC just decided that they were going to change the rules and now they're going to award Kansas City the game, I would get the back and forth. But I feel like I'm in a crazy zone. Don't the Broncos get a guaranteed home game against Kansas City? That means you got to play at their place one time. You got to go to their place. They got to come to your place. What are we even arguing about? This is stupid. There is only one perk you are guaranteed to get for winning your division. You know what that is? A home playoff game. That's it. You are not guaranteed anything else for winning your division. I don't care who the opponent is. The only team guaranteed to play a home game is the team that won the Super Bowl. So the other 31 teams, wherever you got to go is where you got to go. Now, I don't want you to go to Australia. That doesn't seem like a very fair place to go for week 1, but you get the point that I'm making. What are we even arguing about? I'd rather go back to talking about Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini. This is stupid. Ben DiNucci. First, who in the hell is a Ben DiNucci? Now, I know you played quarterback in the NFL, so I can only say so much. Bro, you wasn't good enough to have this commentary, my dog. You was not good enough to be speaking on this. You never won a game. You threw 200 yards. You last played in 2020. You were the Denver Broncos version of Brody Croyle. Stay out of championship business. Why are you even speaking on this? Ben DiNucci. Rob, give me a little bit of music, man. I need the sad violin music. He didn't play for the Broncos. This is dumb. The Broncos won the division and hosted the AFC Championship. This game should be in Denver. What are we Is anybody out there with me? 913-586-7965. Why does it matter? The Chiefs have to go to Denver at some point in the season. You gotta go there. What are we arguing about? You get the same number of home games, the same number of road games. What are we complaining about? The order? This is stupid. He wasn't the only one. Oh, I did some internet reading. He was not the only one. Broncos fan. This is lame. We can still win there, but because of what we did last season, we earned this game. What are you talking about? Another Broncos fan. The Broncos won the division and they're on the road? Wow. Goodell will do anything for Mahomes to have an edge. This is comedy. These people are crazy. Every team in your division plays every team at home. They play every team on the road. I don't really care when the games happen. I know the schedule thing is a big deal, and planning and preparing for it. The Broncos will get their opportunity to play the Chiefs at home. And something tells me that when they play the Chiefs, it's not going to be a 12 o'clock noon game. It's going to be a 3:25 Nance and Romo. It's going to be a Thursday night football game. It's going to be a late in the season Amazon Prime Netflix kind of game. What are we even arguing about? These people are Looney Tunes. They win the division one time, and now they feel entitled to something. I don't get it, bro. I really don't. I don't want to look at this bias because we're from Kansas City. I really don't. I don't want to look at this. I could genuinely keep reading comments of people who are just beside themselves. Is it because they're playing the Chiefs? This, to me, comes off like you're scared. Would you have this opinion if you were going on the road to play the Raiders in the first game? Would you have this opinion if they were going on the road to play the Chargers? Maybe they were going on the road out of the division. So now we want a new rule that if you win your division, you're guaranteed to have a home game? I mean, the Rams won their division. Their home opener is in Australia. What are we doing? This is stupid. This is dumb. These people are Looney Tunes. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Can we play some audio? We play some audio. This is Mark Schlereth. Mark Schlereth, longtime Bronco, great broadcaster. He's been on the show a couple of times. I like Mark Schlereth. He understands why Broncos fans are upset.
I mean, let's throw a little respect on Kansas City, what they've done over the last decade. Plus, when you think about all the ancillary things that go along with that, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, now they're married, she's going to be up in the box, all the things that add to, this is about the schedule release is about what gives us the best TV ratings. And, the NFL is no fools. They're not a $20 billion a year business because they don't understand, the television aspect of it and how much money that brings in. So I get it. I think it should be here in Denver. I mean, you swept them last year. You won the division. You went 14-3. You went to the AFC Championship game, albeit without your quarterback. You probably should have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl, and you have to open up on the road. I understand why. You should be pissed if you're Broncos country.
What should you be mad about? Can anybody answer that to me? What should you be mad about? 913-586-7965. You got to go there for a game. They got to come to you for a game. It's an advantage to play a home game later in the season. Right now, if I told you that the Chiefs game against the Broncos was in week 1 and week 18, that's when the league is determined, and they would let you Chiefs fans vote on which game would you rather have at home. Would you rather have the week 1 game in your building or the week 18 game in your building? Everybody would pick the game later in the season. Yet Broncos fans are looking at this like they got done wrong by the league. You haven't done anything. You didn't win the AFC. You didn't win the Super Bowl. I'm perplexed. I'm dumbfounded by this. I'm beside myself. I mean, I really could sit here and we could spend the rest of the show. I could just spend reading you Broncos comments that feel like they've been done wrong. Like they have been slighted by the National Football League in some regard. Maybe they changed the rule. Maybe the competition committee, and this is the only game between the Chiefs and the Broncos this year. If that was the case, I'd be on the Broncos side. I really would be. That's not the rules. They get a home game. It's going to be later in the season. They feel like they earned the first game of the season. Okay, all right. Okay, fine. I mean, I wish the Chiefs could give it to them now. Here, take it. You can have it. I'll take the game later in the season. I mean, we don't think they're going to have Chiefs and Broncos week 1 and week 3, do we? That game will be after Thanksgiving when they have to go on the road to Denver. Something tells me that's probably going to be a difficult stretch for the Chiefs, too. You know what I don't think they're going to put? I don't think they're going to have the Chiefs on the road against the Broncos, sandwiched in between home against the Jets and home against Jacksonville. I just don't think that's how the schedule is going to shake out once we see it. These people are Looney Tunes. Rob, you got anything you want to add to these Broncos fans? I don't understand their gripe.
I wish I understood. It makes no sense to me. It's week 1. It doesn't matter. There's 17 weeks after that, 16 games. Like, is it because it's Monday night? If the game was at 3:25 at Arrowhead, do you think they'd care? I think their beef is it's Monday Night Football and they feel like they're going to get skipped. But I bet when the schedule comes out, Denver has a Monday night game. So it's all stupid.
They'll have multiple nationally televised games because they're one of the best teams on paper in the National Football League. They won their division. They've got a good young quarterback. They got a good young roster. They will have a nationally televised home game. They should. There's 17 other weeks in the season. They will have a Sunday night football game. They deserve it. Great fan base, team that won their division. You and I both know we'll get a Broncos-Chargers Thursday night game. We'll get a Broncos-Chargers, Broncos-Raiders Monday night football game at Mile High. It's one of the best home venues in the National Football League. This isn't their only chance. And again, the Chiefs will go on the road to Denver and play a prominent game. that a large majority of America will watch. They are not putting Chiefs and Broncos at noon in Denver. It's going to be the 325 game or better. So what are we even arguing about? This is arguing for the sake of arguing. Can we just get the rest of the schedule? That's all I want. Can we get to the rest of the schedule?
I'm begging for the whole schedule. I hate the league system. Just release it one day. But we're not talking the NFL for 5 straight days, so I get it, but I hate it.
It's so stupid, man. We'll come back to this because I got more comments. I got more. Actually, you know what? Hit the button one more time. I got a couple more I need to get off. Hit the music for me one more time, Rob. Then we'll move on. I've made my point, but I just like reading them being mad. These are the last 2 Broncos fans I'm going to read. Denver earned and deserved the Monday night opener at home. This pisses me the hell off. 3 angry emojis. This is absolute horse blank. Blank you, Commissioner. How can you reward the Chiefs with an opening home game after we beat them twice and won the division? Are week 1 home games more valuable than week 2 home games? Are week 1 home games more valuable than week 3 home games? Like, what am I missing? I feel like all the games in September are even. The weather isn't going to be a factor. Now, obviously, an injury can happen that, you're not the team in week 3 that you were in week 1. Xavier Worthy runs into a guy. I mean, that's a possibility, but I just kind of look at all of these games like just doesn't really matter that much to me. You play the same amount of home games as road games. You got 81 in baseball at home. You got 81 on the road. Sometimes the Royals are going to start the season on the road. Sometimes they're going to start the season at home. It's just, that's the way love goes sometimes. I don't get it, man. I know it's been a while since the Broncos have won the division, but maybe that's why they're struggling. Maybe that's why they don't know how this works sometimes. I mean, the Chiefs won their division a couple of years ago. They started the season in Brazil. I don't feel like you're guaranteed to play at home because you won the year before, but I don't. What do I know? I don't know. That's all I got on that, Rob. Any final thoughts about Broncos fans?
I thought they were down bad when they lost to the Patriots at home, but this is worse. I liked it better when the Broncos were irrelevant. That's my official stance. That maybe it was worse for the show, but it was better on the internet when they were irrelevant. That was a better time.
Someone on the text line says I got called out on one of the Broncos shows. All those people have my number. I'm happy to go on their show. We've never declined going on their show. So if they want to have me on there to talk about this, I'm more than happy to go on there. I got nothing but free time to go on their show. If they want my commentary on this, now something is telling me the Broncos fans will not be happy about what I have to say going on their show. You didn't do nothing. You accomplished nothing last season. And you're walking around like you're Seattle. You're walking around. It blows my mind. Honestly, it really does. All right, let's play this. Let's move on from this. I don't have anything else for the Broncos or their fans. They're nuts, if you ask me. Let me play this just because we love a good quarterback debate on this show. Colin Cowherd, he gives his list of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
The top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Number 1 is Josh Allen. And you can say what you want about the GM. You can say what you want. They don't have a Super Bowl. I'm not going to punish him. He's been very good in the playoffs. He's won 70% of his games with a defensive head coach that most of you didn't like. 7 straight years with 10-plus wins. I'm sorry, folks. He's been better than Mahomes 2 straight years. Patrick Mahomes would be number 2 despite his injury. It's the first injury of note in his career, and reportedly he's going to be back in September. Each of his first 7 years led the Chiefs to a division title and the AFC Championship. That's very LeBron in the East. Sorry, don't get recency bias. He's amazing. Number 3, Caleb Williams. Do you know what his numbers are the first 2 years? 47 touchdowns, 13 picks, never hurt. Never hurt in high school, never hurt in college, never hurt in the pros. Got hit more than any quarterback in the league rookie year, not missing a snap. Unbelievably durable. Number 4, again, not great in the playoffs, Justin Herbert. Worst offensive line in the NFL. Made the playoffs. That is insane. He is beloved in the locker room. He is the most, you could argue, he and Lamar Jackson are the most loved players in the NFL in their respective locker rooms. Missed only 6 starts in his career, which is confounding because he's never had a good O-line. Justin Herbert. Number 5, Matt Stafford. I mean, listen, I know he's old. I know he's not mobile. He just won the MVP. Well, what do you want me to say? They're favored to win the Super Bowl.
I hadn't heard it. I sent it to Rob. I said, cut it. I hadn't heard it. If you're watching it, you saw my reaction to hearing this. Caleb Williams is the 3rd best quarterback in the National Football League?
The double take you had on 3-4 is just fantastic. That's fantastic video work if you're on YouTube.
Justin Herbert is the 4th best quarterback in the league? Hey, man. Where do you want to start? Now, you know what? I don't have a problem with you putting Josh Allen at number 1. I do think that Josh Allen has played better than Patrick Mahomes the last couple of seasons. I think that Josh Allen, from a statistical standpoint, has been better than Patrick Mahomes. And if your team misses the playoffs the way that Patrick's teams missed the playoffs last year, I don't think you can forever hold on to that number 1 spot. Now, I would say putting Josh Allen number 1 would kind of be like calling Anthony Edwards the best player in the league. I like Anthony Edwards. I don't know who doesn't like Anthony Edwards. You haven't really done anything to call yourself the best player in the league, though. You don't have anything. Like, part of being the best quarterback, one of those fractions has to be team success, because the team goes through you. You're the most important player on the team. So if your team doesn't have a whole lot of success, and the AFC last year was completely wide open, ready for the taking, and once again, your team can't get over the hump, I feel like you should be knocked a little bit for that. But honestly, I'm not even mad with you putting Josh Allen at number 1. I'm not. That's not even what my argument is after hearing this audio. That's not what my beef is. If you look up the last 2 years, you could certainly make that point. I don't have any issues with that. What are we doing with Justin Herbert, man? Justin Herbert has played 6 years in the National Football League. He doesn't have a single playoff win. Not a one. He hasn't even played well in a postseason game. He hasn't played well. Last year, he threw 159 yards in the postseason. Didn't throw a touchdown pass. They got smoked in the game. Shouldn't even have shown up. Shouldn't even have got on the plane to travel to New England last year. Straight belt to backside. The year before, he threw 4 interceptions in the game. 4. He was terrible. He had a quarterback rating of 40. Come on now. You can't put Justin Herbert as the 4th best quarterback in the league. He doesn't even have like magical regular seasons. Did you guys know that Justin Herbert hasn't thrown 30 touchdown passes since 2021? I'm talking COVID times. And I think we're starting to learn, Rob, those COVID numbers, whether it's in the NFL, whether it's in baseball, whether it's in basketball, those COVID numbers and coming off COVID where still all the stadiums weren't 100% are not real numbers. Last season, he threw for less than 4,000 yards and less than 30 touchdowns. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league? I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused. What makes Justin Herbert better than Jared Goff? Justin Herbert must just have a much better agent than Jared Goff. Jared Goff has won playoff games. He's helped his team get a 1 seed. He's taken another team to a Super Bowl before. Why is this Justin Herbert's better than Jared Goff? And it's like clear everybody agrees with this. What is it based on? I don't know. I didn't mean to spend so much time griping in this segment, but it's a lot of perplexing things are happening right now. Things are happening that have never happened before. You can play 6 years in the league, never win a playoff game, and we rank you above guys who have won MVPs? We can rank you ahead of guys who won Super Bowls? Okay, all right. Well, I can't argue with anybody else's ranking. If that's your ranking, that's your ranking. But Justin Herbert would not be in the top 5 in mine. He'd be closer to the 10 than anything for me. I'm done falling for the Justin Herbert thing. We've done this for way too many seasons. We've done this. I don't want to hear it anymore. They've given you the head coach. They spent a first-round pick on a running back. They've invested heavily in wide receiver. They've put pieces on that defense. And then when it comes playoff time, you turn into James Harden is who you turn into. So I don't want to deal with it. Just no would be my answer. Absolutely not. Joe Goldberg is going to join us in the 3 o'clock hour. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important, trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 78.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Let me ask you guys this question. Do you think that we as a society could get to a point of NFL burnout? This is why I asked the question. Football, I think, has always been very neatly packaged, where they really only asked 1 or 2 days of your time, kind of like a television show. Your team plays once a week. They're asking you to just make a 3-hour investment in their sport. Now, people watch Monday Night Football. People watch Sunday Night Football. The league works because it feels so connected in ways. But I don't think this is stepping out of bounds by saying this. The NFL has never asked it for more of your time as a sports fan than they are right now. Just take Thanksgiving week. Think about, Rob, all the things that people usually have going on at Thanksgiving. Now, one of the traditions is certainly huddled around the television, watching football, watching your team play, and it's a real bonding experience. But football is asking for your time and attention the Wednesday before, which, Rob, we know is one of those days that people like to go out, have a good time. That's one of the biggest bar days in the country that happens. They're asking for your Thursday, which is tradition. It's Thanksgiving. They now want your Black Friday. Then they want their usual Sunday and Monday Night Football. I would also say, and someone makes this point, your fantasy football week also just keeps starting earlier and earlier in the day. Like, man, once it's football season, there really aren't many days off. Just think about it. For that 1 week of Thanksgiving, there's a football game on every day other than Tuesday. And trust me, they would put a game on Tuesday. They just can't, because that's the day that's collectively bargained by the NFL players. They can't work on those days. But on the week of Thanksgiving, there's going to be a game on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and then the following Monday. We're talking about a whole lot of time, where I would completely understand as an NFL fan, hey, I'll watch this game. I won't really watch this game. I got other stuff to do. I'll catch the highlights. That's just never really been how we've done this. And someone else makes the same point. They're also now asking for that same level of devotion on Christmas as well. So I wonder, is there a way that we could ever just get football burnout? Man, football is on all the time in the fall. And this isn't even counting if you're a big college football fan. Some of you love college football. Some of you don't really get into college football. But Rob, you and I are big college football fans. So you spend all the time during the week, and then on Saturday, I mean, this is when we get to championship week. This is when we're trying to figure out who's going to make the college football playoff. Like, man, once you get to the end of November, you don't really have any days off. It's going to be football nonstop for about 7-8 consecutive days to then repeat the process and then do it all over again.
Aren't they asking for this? You mentioned Christmas, Thanksgiving. Aren't they doing this in week 1 too? Like, you're going to have the opener on Wednesday.
It's different in the beginning. It's different in the beginning for this reason.
But you mentioned the college football thing. That's a long week of football by the time you get to Monday night with Chiefs and Broncos.
For sure. But at that point, to me, you've been fiending for football to come back. You don't care who's playing on those early morning games. Like, for that week 1, you'll watch Colorado and Georgia Tech. I don't care. I just want to watch football. It's been so long since you've had a game that meant something. They kind of tease you with the preseason games that everybody knows are just dress rehearsals. They're going at 60% speed. But then once you actually get the game, you're excited to have football on every day. At that point, man, I've been watching football for 4 or 5 months, and now you want my Tuesday, you want my Wednesday, you want my Thursday. You want me to wake up early on Sunday and watch your game at 8:30. Football has never demanded more of your time than they currently are with all these different television windows that they are trying to take over.
I also wonder about it, but I think the NFL thinks they're infallible. I think the NFL thinks it doesn't matter. Because, Carrington, I was here. It was 2-3 years ago. I think it was 2023 because the Royals were bad. And everyone and their grandmother on the text line complained about games behind a paywall. I can't believe this is happening. Games behind a paywall. We won't pay for streaming. We're not doing that. We're not paying to watch sports. Yada, yada, yada. Since that happened with the Royals, the NFL has put more and more and more and more games behind paywalls. And the NFL fan has said, nah, we're good. We'll keep watching. They've even found new excuses. The same people that were complaining about baseball behind a paywall are like, well, Netflix doesn't count as a paywall. Everyone has Netflix. Everyone has Prime. So the NFL, every time it has done something that I thought would push fans and have fans push back, fans have just said, nah, we're good. We'll keep doing it. I think the NFL found out during COVID when they could put games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and no one seems to care or stop them. That's when I think they decided no one seems to care. No one's going to stop us.
And I think this is a very good point, and I know we're having this conversation. I will watch a large majority of these games, but I don't watch every single game of the NFL schedule, but I watch a good portion of them. Someone says, CDOT, it's still such a limited item that on a 4 days out of a week, it'll still get more views than anything else. I've argued this in the past. Football really started to gain in popularity as our other favorite television shows, you started to be able to watch them on your own time. You can't do sports that way. I very rarely watch Law & Order when it's happening. The Pit, very rarely watch it while it was happening, when it debuted. I don't have to do it that way. Now with HBO Max and Hulu and Peacock and all of these different streaming services, I can watch every other show on my own time. Can't really watch football on your own time. Can't really watch your favorite team on your own time. So football has really, really gained in popularity. As we don't really watch anything else live, America has shown you time and time again, we watch football live. And we don't really care when you tell us. If football is on, and I'm talking high-level major football, whether it's college football or the NFL, if football is on, we will watch that over literally anything else. Even for all the bowl games that people complain about, people watch bowl games at crazy numbers. They watch them, they bet on them. So the NFL, like most companies, they see how far they can push it. We have responded very well, and they're going to continue to load this up. They're not going to stop doing international games. So there's going to be more games you got to get up for on Sunday. They're obviously not stopping when it comes to streaming companies. Netflix is gaining more and more power in the league. Amazon is gaining more and more power in the league. That is not going to shrink, especially when these new television contracts come up. They went to Netflix and tried to get Netflix to buy all of the international games, and Netflix declined buying all of the games. So their relationship with the streamers are getting bigger, not getting smaller when it comes to how the game is televised. I want to play one thing for you guys just because, I don't know, maybe I'm a bad person, but man, I love seeing fan bases down. Remember we were talking about Philadelphia as they got swept out of the NBA playoffs?
I ain't gonna lie, this is a Mother's Day massacre. I left my mom, you know what I mean, and spent time thinking that I'm going down with the ship, but I'm going down with the ship, so I gotta make it up to mama.
Sell the team, fire Nick Nurse, everybody gone.
Well, that was the case. We didn't get a chance to talk about this, but now's the perfect time to do it. We only got a couple minutes left in this segment. So Josh Hart plays for the Knicks. The Knicks just beat the Sixers. New York, Philadelphia, there's a rivalry there. Josh Hart went to Villanova, won a championship at Villanova. He is one of the greatest players in their school's history. He's a legend there. You can always go back, standing ovation. He's a phenomenal role player. Love Josh Hart. Every team needs a Josh Hart. After the Knicks won their series against the Sixers, he said this about Philadelphia, where he graduated from college.
Yeah, I used to think Philly was a sports town. I don't know if it is anymore.
Yo, can you imagine, Rob, can you imagine if Devontae Graham said this about Kansas City? Can you imagine if Frank Mason said, you know what, man, I used to think Kansas City was a great sports town. I'm not so sure anymore. That's the equivalent of what Josh Hart just did. I love it. I really do. I love it. We just need more villains, you know? That's all we need, especially in the NBA. Sometimes a little bit too buddy-buddy. It's a little too much hugs and daps and changing jerseys and, hey, let's team up and play on the same team. Why don't we all meet up and play in the Olympics? I like when guys go out of their way. Didn't say anything mean-spirited, just I used to think Philly was a sports town, but the way that we came in here, we dusted that team off. Our fans took over their building, and it feels like we had a Knicks home game, and you let us come in here and take over your stadium, eat your food, put our feet up on your couch, and then go home. I love it, man. I really do. I don't have a favorite NBA team. I just kind of cheer for LeBron, and then there's like various NBA players. Like I like watching Victor Wembanyama, so I want to see the Spurs do well. But I will say, there's like a 6-week span these last couple of years. I just started cheering for the Knicks. It just seems fun to cheer for the Knicks, you know? It just seems fun. Every time they win, their fans seem to be in a good mood. They're in the streets, they're dancing, they're celebrating. I like the Knicks, you know? Go Knicks. I'm cheering for them the rest of the way. I want to see Knicks and Spurs in the NBA Finals. That's what I want to see. Let's keep the basketball conversation going. Coming up at the top of the hour, Darren Peterson spoke to the media. He never talks to the media. I want to play for you what he had to say. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHAP.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-213-5757. That's 800-213-5757.
If you've been putting off some much-needed painting, don't wait any longer. Call CertaPro Painters now. They'll provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price. And you never have to wonder what's next. They provide reliable communication and updates because they know how important your home is to you. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects before May 15th. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
With the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Royals coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peter's Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peter's Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
Follow the station on Instagram for daily videos like the Royal Decree, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Would You Rather Wednesday. This is Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
We're going to have Joel Goldberg join us coming up in about 15 minutes. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about Darren Peterson. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but the NBA draft combine was yesterday. And let me tell you, Darren Peterson put on a show. They do a drill that's basically the 3-point contest for the NBA general managers. So 5 in one spot and you go around the world. You have seen a 3-point contest before. Darren Peterson went 19 of 25 doing this yesterday in front of NBA draft scouts. Now, he's got a lot to say. He's talking now. You got to do these interviews. Darren Peterson yesterday said a couple of things that were very intriguing to me. They asked him to describe himself. He described himself as a good brother, someone you can rely on, also a high energy, high character guy. Now, I'm not here to talk about Darren Peterson's personality or his character. I never met the man, and he has done nothing for me to suggest that he is not a good brother or have high character. Someone you can rely on and high energy are not two words or two phrases that I would use to describe Darren Peterson. He was not someone that Kansas could rely on. I didn't really get a sense that he's a high energy guy. He certainly does not play with a lot of high energy. He didn't last year at Kansas. He also asked how he's so good at getting to the free throw line. I will say that is a skill that Darren Peterson had last year at Kansas, was getting to the line. He said, quote, "My thing is I feel no one can guard me. They can only foul me." So Darren Peterson talking big, talking spicy heading into the NBA. Now, I do want to play some audio for you. I don't want to just read Darren Peterson quotes. They asked where he's at physically, which is the number one question with Darren Peterson. Here's what he said.
Yeah, I feel like I'm back at that level now. Obviously, I wasn't where I wanted to be, just with what I had going on, but I feel like I'm back at it now.
What's the difference of being able to get back at it? Like, what's changed for you?
Figuring out what it was. And, that kind of helped my mental as well, because when something's wrong, you don't know what it is. It can be rough. So helped my mental figuring out what it was, and then now just getting back to it, feeling good.
Text line, is this hate? I want to see Darren Peterson win Rookie of the Year just to see what happens. That's what I want to see. I want Darren Peterson to play in 75 games next year. I want Darren Peterson to just flash the ability of being a star. I largely want that to happen because I don't know how you guys are going to respond if that's the case. Because there's one side of me that is thinking, good. You identified what the problem is. You are now healthy, ready to go. And man, I wish you the absolute best in your career. I really do. I'm not here in the business of rooting against teenagers. That doesn't seem, I'm almost 40 years old. I'm not in the business of rooting against these kids. Go out and have success. You having success does not impact my life in any way. But on the other side, I could see how if you're a KU fan, you think, oh, of course, now you're healthy. You gave us nothing but problems the entire. There was no portion of the season in which Darren Peterson was not a problem for Kansas. He was a problem at Thanksgiving. He was a problem at Christmas. He was a problem on Martin Luther King's birthday. He was a problem on Valentine's Day. He was a problem on St. Patrick's Day. Every portion of the college basketball season, he was a problem. Now that he's in line to get a raise and get more money, oh, Darren Peterson's telling you he's 100%, man. He figured it out. Oh, we figured out exactly what's wrong. I'm 100%. I'm ready to play basketball. Of course you are. I could understand a little hateration from KU's part. I really could understand it. I mean, I don't feel that way. I want the kid to have success. I'm rooting for the kid. I would buy a Darren Peterson jersey. I would buy a Darren Peterson t-shirt. But something tells me that you guys will not share in my enthusiasm for his NBA career. Rob, something tells me you will not share in my enthusiasm for Darren Peterson's career, even though you spent a year on this show building up Darren Peterson.
I know this, and I don't speak for every KU fan when I say these things. I do hope the kid has success. It'll be just such a what if he wins Rookie of the Year. If he goes to the Wizards or the Jazz or the Bulls, any of those top 5 teams, and he just is hooping. If he turns into one of the NBA draft, I think Draft Express compares him to Devin Booker as an NBA prospect. You know the comparison game. If he turns into Devin Booker, it's going to be a massive what if for KU fans. It's going to make me sick to my stomach because I know he is a great basketball player. All the people around him have always said he's a great basketball player. But what I heard in that cut is something that I've thought about for a while now with Darren Peterson. I think the first time in his life, he had adversity last year. Health adversity. I think his body started to betray him, and it sent him into a mental spiral. And I think every time he started to feel that little ache, that little twinge, that little something return, he was worried about his health, and I think it bothered his mentality, and I think it made him not play at 100%. So when he says the big thing was, now we know the problem and my mental is right, I think that's him admitting what I've thought for a while. I think he was healthy enough to play. He just, because of what happened in workouts or whatever, when he had to have the full body cramps and the IV and the whole deal, I think it sent him into a mental tizzy that he just couldn't come out of last year. And now that he's identified the problem, he feels mentally stronger about it. But that's it. He's going to be a great NBA player, and KU fans are always going to say, what if we had that player at Kansas?
Now, the top NBA draft guy for ESPN, we don't got to play the audio, but he said this, and I actually would agree with this. So he said that he has seen those two guys play in person 8 to 10 times, which if you follow AAU basketball, they have definitely played against one another multiple times. ESPN draft person said not once did he come away thinking that A.J. DeBonsta was a better prospect than Darren Peterson. I would say that in the one game we watched them go up against each other last year, I could understand how you feel that way. Hey, Peterson is a better basketball player than him. He is a better prospect than him. It is going to be a very interesting debate on, are you willing to take the highest ceiling out of those two players? Because you could very easily sell me that Darren Peterson is the best NBA prospect in this incredible class. If everybody is going to stay healthy for the next 10 years, who has the chance of turning out to be the best basketball player? And you came to that conclusion it was Darren Peterson, I would not fight you. But if you are telling me in real life, in real time, hey, we know the draft is a crapshoot. You got to factor in injuries. You got to factor in fit. You got to factor in personality. You got to factor in that you were giving 19 to 21-year-old people a boatload of money and a boatload of responsibility and how they handle that responsibility. And we think that A.J. DeBonsta is better at handling that than Darren Peterson. I also could not tell you were wrong. I couldn't draft Darren Peterson with the number 1 overall pick. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I agree with you, but I also... this is maybe me talking about both sides of the mouth. I agree 100% with you. I think the other stuff is why he won't go 1, and I think that's why a team who's trying to reshape their franchise won't take him 1. But I'm a nerd. I watched the AAU clips. I watched the highlights. I watched it live for a half of BYU Kansas at Allen last year. Darren Peterson's a better basketball player when healthy than A.J. DeBonsta. It's just the fact that I say when healthy is the major caveat. I mean, I talked about it on the show. He scored 60 in an AAU game against DeBonsta. He's better at basketball than that kid, but just all the other stuff is going to make AJ go number 1.
One of them I know is going to play. I don't know if the other one's going to play.
If you can have those same conversations about Boozer. I just think Boozer's just not nearly as good as Darren Peterson, but like if you think AJ and Darren are 6 and 1 and half dozen the other, you have to take the more known commodity. But I'm telling you, when he's on the court, Darren Peterson is better. The question is about on the court, and that's a major question with his health.
Let's keep the college theme going. I just saw this down from a K-State reporter. The Big 12 football championship is going to be Friday, December 4th at 6 o'clock on ABC. We know Texas Tech will be playing in that game, Rob. Who do you think they will be playing?
Friday night. God, why does the league do this?
I actually think that's the right time to do it.
A Friday night? No. They need to be on Saturday. I think Saturday 11 a.m. is better for the league than Friday at 6.
Yeah, I don't agree with that just because the Big Ten is going to be at 6 o'clock. You know the SEC is going to be at the 2:30.
You're the
better
lead-in.
to be at 6 o'clock on Friday than 11 a.m. on a Saturday? You get your own window. There's nobody else to kind of fight you on that. You're going to be on Fox. You could sell me a Friday night, especially in December. It's colder. It's going closer to Christmas. People aren't going out as much. People are staying in. I don't really have a problem with the Friday game, especially when you got to also factor in once we get to that part in the season in December, the NFL is going to start playing Saturday games. They're starting Saturday games in week 15 this year. So I'm guessing that's the early part of December. I don't have the calendar in front of me, at least to look at the Saturdays or whatnot, but I'm also guessing that Saturday there's going to be an NFL game.
The NFL usually stays out of big if. Usually stays out of conference championship business, but
let me look to see when the first NFL game is.
I don't love because now the 11 a.m. window is empty. Like, you would have dominated the 11 a.m. window, too. You could have been on ESPN. Now, maybe they want to go on Fox. I don't know. I don't like that. You're right. Texas Tech is going to be in that game. Actually, is Texas Tech in that game? Their quarterback like FanDuel, more like football. Like, what? Are we sure they're in the game?
So week 17 is going to be the 24th. So no, that'd be out of the window. It'd be right after that, immediately after that. But yeah, they're starting Saturday games in week 15. They got Saturday games on 15, 16, 17, and 18. So you got a month of games that start on Saturday. So no, the NFL is taking up a bigger piece of the pie than they ever have when it comes to just your viewing and television habits. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Joel Goldberg, who is live in Chicago as the Royals look to take a series away from the White Sox. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in prizes this mid-year's Eve. Saturday, June 6th. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold hard cash at midnight. And leading up to the big finale, we are calling names to win $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn entries all throughout May and June. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the Hai Chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, We strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Replacing your HVAC doesn't have to be an emergency. Plan now, pay less later. For a limited time, take advantage of an HVAC replacement with financing starting as low as $149 a month. More options, better timing, and less stress for your home.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
The rush hour is taking hold and traffic is moving slow and crowded westbound I-70 near downtown. On the Missouri side, watch for ongoing lane restrictions along US 69 in Overland Park. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Hey, it's Jack Caglione from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Joel Goldberg. You guys see him on Royals TV. Joel, how you doing, my man? Joel, you there?
I got you, C-Dot. Sorry about that. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. You know what happened?
I was sitting here with Ryan Lefevre, and I just turned into a rookie. Forget about the 19 years. He and I were sitting here talking. I had it on speaker as we were listening to the commercial, and like a good rookie, I forgot to unmute it. So
that's what I was about to say happened. I could tell what happened.
Yeah, I mean, this was not a bad connection. If we have a bad connection, we can blame it on whatever they call this stadium now, which I believe is Rate Field.
All right, so Joel, before we get to the Royals, I have two questions that I want to get your opinion on that we have been discussing. So you go all around baseball, you see all the different hats. I want you to give me 5 baseball caps that you would put on your top tier, because we were arguing this yesterday. I think the White Sox have one of those kind of hats in the conversation. Give me your 5 tier A, your top tier baseball caps.
Man, that's such a hard question, only because it's one I could have answered so much better before I was knee deep in this meaning. It's not even that I'm not allowed to wear them. It's just I see them so much. I don't want any part of them. I will start with a dark horse or a sort of surprise for you, because it is one I just got. And they don't even exist yet, but I think they will. It is the potential hat of what I believe could be the next expansion team, the Nashville Stars, which would be based off of the old Negro Leagues team. So, that doesn't really answer your question, but that at least, that's the only one I have. I don't even have a Royals hat. But yeah, I mean, look, the White Sox, and you see even in terms of pop culture, right? That White Sox hat, when they switched over to black and white, that became part of pop culture decades ago, and I think it still is. You see a lot of that in music videos and just around the country, by the way. I mean, I'll just be around the country and walking through different cities, and you will see some White Sox hats. So I think you're on to that. I think it rarely has to do with the team and more to do with the look. What would be another one? You could help me out on this one. It would definitely not be the Yankees. I'm like most of us in Kansas City. I couldn't do that, although I see a lot of that. About like?
So yesterday we asked Vern. Vern had the Yankees hat on the list. He had the Dodgers hat on the list. I threw the Cardinals hat on the list for this reason. Like if you were just looking for a red baseball cap, I think the Cardinals is the best red hat that you could have.
Yeah, but that's hard. That's hard for us in Kansas City, right? I do like the Dodgers, just like a good old school, crisp, clean. I don't know, maybe like, I'm not a fan of the Tigers, but that old school or whatever they call it, the old English D or whatever you call it, that's kind of cool. What about Astros? No. Cleveland? No. Cincinnati might not be all that bad. That could be a cool one. I don't know. Let's talk a different sport hats. I would do better with that.
Where are you at on the Royal City Connect uniforms?
I'll first say that I've really loved the previous version. I love those colors. These are growing on me a lot, and it was interesting when they came out, and I know like people are either loving it or hating it and losing their minds and all that. And I do think, like, I'm a fan of anything that gets the younger generation excited, and they did a lot of work on what kids would think was cool, and this was it. I think that I like the home whites. I've worn the bright colored jacket, and that's not a color I've ever worn before. So that started to grow on me a little bit. But I really like just a white home City Connect uniforms. I like that. I will say I like that darker blue version the last couple of years a lot.
Right now, we're talking to Joel Goldberg of the Royals Television Network, just talking a little baseball here. All right, let's talk about the Royals. We are a little bit past the 40-game mark. Yeah. What's the thing that you have learned most about the Royals, you would say, in the first 45 games or so of the season?
What's interesting about that, C-Dot, is that in some ways I think you could kind of bring this back every year in some form or another, and that is that depth is always going to come into play. It's the second year in a row they've had a ton of pitching depth, and it's already being challenged. Now, it hasn't been challenged as much at the big league level, and Cole Reagans, hopefully is back soon, but, we saw Ben Cooter to go down, and he's getting close, a Kansas City area kid. We saw Ryan Berger go down for the year. So suddenly that depth of 9 or 10 starting pitchers has already been challenged a little bit, and so we're seeing that. I think that we are starting. I think what's maybe standing out to me a little bit is just some of the role players and the work that they're doing. That it feels to me as though they've got a pretty good situation right now, and some of this sort of played itself out with Jonathan India getting hurt. That for the most part, Michael Massey's going to be at second base against the righties, and Nick Lofton's going to be at second base against the lefties, and that there's a kind of a nice rhythm. You can sort of have a feeling of what's coming. Like last night, for instance, I knew that Nick Lofton's been really good. He's been really good off the bench. The second a lefty came in, Michael Massey's spot, boom. I mean, I'm looking down the way of the dugout, and I see Massey in the on-deck circle, and as soon as they went to go make the pitching change, I saw Massey look back towards the dugout, and I knew exactly what was happening. I think that Q has a bench that has really been able to contribute. And he always likes to get his bench involved. We've seen that, but it feels to me like he's got the right pieces that it's becoming. I mean, I know fans will complain, what is he doing? But it to me looks like, okay, this guy's playing against lefties. This guy's playing against righties. Maybe a little bit, maybe some more defined platoons. That's been a little bit of a surprise about how well that's worked. In terms of other surprises, I mean, I don't think I expected Vinny and Salvi to be at this point today. But, like how many times over the years have we seen players struggle in April, and let's see what it looks like in August and September. I fully believe that Vinny will be what he's supposed to be. The bigger question on Salvi right now is his health. And so let's see what happens with that. We saw last night that, after not catching for 10 days, that he can get back in there and catch and have a productive night, very productive night, like he did. So I think that I would just say this, like the biggest surprise for me out of the gate was how much, and this isn't just a Royals thing, how much the guys that had great World Baseball class struggled out of the gate, and starting to see some of that clear up a little bit. I think the only other thing that I would say, and I hesitate to say it a little bit only because name me a team in any sport, CDOT, that has ever said anything other than we're a resilient group, right? Like, have you ever heard a team that's like, yeah, we're not very resilient. We fold when it matters late. So like every team feels like they have that in their DNA, and it comes up and they answer it that way when they have big comebacks. But it feels to me like this team really does have this ability to do some things late in games, and that they have a little bit of that just in their muscle memory. That okay, I even thought last night when they went down in the ninth inning that there's a good chance that they would come back. We've seen more of that early on in the season. The other thing I guess I would say is that while he's not exactly where you need him to be quite yet, very encouraging to see where Jack Caglione is at right now versus what he looked like last year.
Right now, we're talking to Joel Goldberg, talking a little Royals baseball. I'm going to ask you to look into your crystal ball a little bit. Do you think that yesterday is that spark that Salvi needs to turn this thing around a bit?
Maybe, but I still think so much of this is based on his health, and he's not going to make the excuses. So, as close as I am with Salvi, he's not even going to tell me, like, oh, man, I'm really hurting here. But you hear stuff quietly elsewhere. It's a testament to how he's never going to make excuses. But, what I learned last night, and I reported on the air, is we've talked so much about this hip injury, and what I found out from their head trainer, Kyle Turner, is that it's been a chronic hip problem, both hips, for 6 years, which just has to do with all the wear and tear of catching, and that it'll grab them, it'll pull them, there'll be some pain, and then it goes away. And so a little bit of rest, get back in there, a little bit of rest, get back in there. But in the last 3 weeks, he added in a groin strain, and that is not something that just heals, and that there's a lot of pain and issues within there, and that he's playing through all of that. So is last night what Salvi needed? I don't know. I know this much, that Salvi is, happiest at peace. I mean, he's a happy guy when he's catching. He wants to be in on that action, and he's been DHing a lot. And so is last night the night that turns the corner? I think that's a really hard thing to say, only because of we just don't know how much this nagging injury, and it's not just going to go away tomorrow, how much this little nagging thing, is it going to nag him more than usual all year long? Is it going to be just the usual? Because the usual still looked pretty good last year. It looked really good last year. I think, to me, more encouraging last night was starting to see some of the balls that Vinny Pasquantino's hitting, and Caglione for that matter too, the hard hit balls that they're hitting. But I would say that it would be a little bit irresponsible on my part to look into that crystal ball, other than to say that, age is going to creep in when you're 36 years old. Salvi just turned 36. Age is a legitimate discussion to have, because, if you're Vinny's age and you're struggling, if you're healthy, you're going to be fine. He is what he is. If you're Salvi, he is what he is, but he's getting to that age where there's going to be decline. It's human nature. It's the body. But we saw what it looked like at 35 last year. So if he could be healthy enough, my crystal ball would tell you that Salvi's going to be just fine. But I think it's easier for me to say that on Vinny than it is Salvi, just because of the age factor. And the reality of it is, at any position, especially catcher, it's just going to take more. It's going to take more to get going. It's going to take more to get the body where you want it to go. So if and look, he's got all the medical attention any superstar athlete could possibly want. They're working, all day long to get him ready every single day, and he's going to put in that effort. So if I were a betting man, I'm not, but if I were a betting man, I'd still bet on the side on Salvi, only because he did what he did last year at 35.
Right now, we're talking a little Royals baseball with Joe Goldberg. Obviously, our job is very different than their job, but I do think there is a feeling that is pretty universal. I imagine when you first started your job, it felt like things were moving 1,000 miles an hour. But as you got more comfortable, it started to slow down a little bit, and you got a lot more comfortable. I feel like we saw that exact same thing happen in real time with Jack Caglione. He looks so much different now than he looked last June.
Totally. And I'll keep the conversation focused on Cags, but I think you could do this exercise a lot of times. And I appreciate what you're saying, C-Dot, because I would just turn this back on you, and without knowing, I know the answer to it. So this is very rhetorical, but I don't know how many thousands of shows, right, maybe that you've done in your time at the radio station. What does a show look like in terms of your nerves, your preparation, or just your comfort level today versus, say, 5 years ago? Totally different, right?
It's drastically different, for sure.
Right, of course. I mean, it's not that you take it for granted. It's not that it's not a big deal. It's just it's what you do, and it's different than probably the job that most of your friends have, and a lot of your friends or people that you don't even know would love to trade places with you. I mean, I'm speaking for myself here, but I might as well be speaking for you and many of us in this industry. So I always like to think about that in terms of ball players. I can't hit a baseball. I can't throw a baseball. No one's ever going to accuse me of being an athlete other than a very mediocre pickleball player. But I can relate to the fact that repetition in anything in life generally leads to success and greater comfort. You don't get repetition unless you're decent enough to earn that repetition. And with that repetition comes more comfort and better results. And so, you know, I look at where I was at when I started in 2008 here, and I'd already had, 14 years in the business, but hadn't been doing Royals, hadn't been hosting every day, hadn't been reporting every single day. And, I could show up now to do this job and do my research and know, and I think you can relate to this too. I know when I come to work every day, like, Ryan and I just walked up here off the bus a little while ago. I know exactly what I need to do to get ready, but more significantly, I know what I don't need. There's so much noise, right? C-Dot, you're going to talk about this, and this on your show today. Why do I need to focus all that extra attention on other things that I don't need? But when you're young, and think about a Jack Caglione, when you're young, you have this fear of, I have to know everything. I've got to be prepared for every single thing, and you expend all your energy on that. And now you add to the level of, pleasing your teammates and the fans and your family and listening to this person and that person, and he's pitching me this, and now he switched to that. It is a fire hose for all of these guys. Now add in the expectations and the pressure on a guy like that, or anyone. And I'll extend it. I mean, I had a long talk with Isaac Collins yesterday. Royals fans' first impression of Isaac probably wasn't great. He didn't have a good April. But if he had done from opening day through the month of April what he's done the last couple of weeks, you'd be like, oh, my gosh, look at this guy that we just got from Milwaukee. And so, he's now starting to slow things down. And he's not that much further in his career than Caglione, but he's a little bit older. And so I think the point is take a 23-year-old that is in his first full season in the big leagues, and we tend to only remember the Bobby Witt Juniors. There aren't a whole lot of guys that have the success right from day one that Bobby Witt Jr. had that break into this league. More are likely to go back and forth. And remember Alex Gordon and the struggles that he went through before he figured it all out. So I think very encouraging what Cags is doing right now, but I really like the exercise, and I would say for anybody that's listening right now, whatever you do in life, whatever your job is, where are you today versus where you were if you've been doing it a while, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ago, and if you're still doing it and you're doing it well, there's probably a pretty good chance you're more comfortable, you've had the repetition, and you're not fighting yourself anymore. And I think I think about that a lot with these younger players.
I'll get you out of here with this last question. You got a chance to see some really cool things happen in baseball in your time. Where does Bobby's inside the park home run rank this weekend? Where does that rank in terms of just cool things you've seen at the park?
I mean, I'm not going to put it in my top 10 list. He's already done it one other time. I think I'd say it more this way. Anytime you see one of those, it's unique and fun. And I think that there's something about an inside the park home run. Like if you were to close your eyes and be sitting at the ballpark, no announcer, no anything, just hear the natural sounds, right? If you were to have closed your eyes, you hear the announcement that Bobby Witt Jr. is coming up. You know who he is. You close your eyes, you hear the crack of the bat, You hear the excitement of the crowd off of the crack of the bat, so you know that it's probably more than a single, right? That's not a single sound. Like, all right, yeah, you got a ground ball. No, that sounds like something big. And now you hear in the middle of the play this massive eruption of noise going to a higher level. It doesn't sound like what would happen as you're holding your breath as it's going over the wall. Is it going to go over the wall? Is it not going to go over the wall? Or that steady sound of off the bat, you know it's going deep and you're cheering the whole way. You kind of like hear this noise, and then there's a little bit of a lull, and suddenly hear it erupt again, and you know it's Bobby Witt Jr., and in your head you're thinking triple or inside the park home run. And I think that the excitement level, anytime a guy hits a triple or an inside the park home run, is fun because you're now, if you want to open your eyes, it's fine. You're watching him fly around the bases. You're watching that slide at home. And I asked him about that, by the way, yesterday, and because it mirrored his slide on the inside the park home run that he had a couple of years ago against Seattle. And he said he's been perfecting that slide since he was a kid. He said he used to get in trouble all the time for sliding headfirst into the couch on the hardwood floors, diving in the pool at home. He's been doing that and breaking things and getting in trouble at home since he was a little kid. And now it all comes out in that play. So I mentioned the sound part because there's a different sound to an inside the park home run. And certainly when you see Bobby Witt Jr., there's a different look to him running around the bases to just about anyone in baseball. It was funny too. He joked about maybe if he wants to shave a little time off of that home to home, because only 3 in the StatCast era have had quicker times, Byron Buxton twice and Pete Crow Armstrong once. So maybe if I wear a tighter helmet and I don't have to flip it off, I can gain a little bit of time back on that one. He was joking, but top 10 or anything like that for me, no. But I think that it is always going to be one of the most exciting plays. I mean, there's still more exciting moments for me, like walk-offs or even some of the fun stuff that happened last night. I mean, like last week, or 2 weeks ago, watching Salvador Perez miss on that Salvi splash as Bobby Witt Jr. ducked and the whole thing drills the security guard in West Sacramento. Or even, it's on a T-shirt now, Lucas Urseg's F-bomb, and just the sort of innocence and the intensity of that moment, the humanity of that moment. Those are kind of the things for me, at least in my role, that stand out more than that. But don't get me wrong, inside the park home runs don't happen every day. But we'll see more of them. I'm still waiting for a cycle. We haven't seen a cycle since, I think, 1990, George Brett. So I haven't seen a cycle, and I haven't seen the Royals throw a no-hitter in my 18-plus seasons here yet. I've seen one no-hitter against us and John Lester in my first year in 2008 in Boston. So I'd love to see a Royals no-hitter, and I'd love to see a cycle. But, you don't see the inside the parkers every day. Not a top 10, but a really cool moment.
That is our guy, Joel Goldberg, joining us on the show. You'll see him later today on Royals TV. Joel, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you when you guys get back home.
All right, C-Dot. See ya.
Take care, man. That's Joel Goldberg joining us on the show. Always great to talk a little bit of Royals baseball with him. We'll get back to the Royals coming up in a bit. Rob, the ratings are out. Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, they sold it as a one-time trial run. 650,000 viewers. That is up 24% from what the average viewer would be for a First Take episode. That is a smashing success. If you do something and the ratings are up 24%, that is something that you should probably do again. It also got 35 million social impressions on ESPN social media. They are bringing Skip Bayless back. Now, I don't think he is going to do the show every day on First Take, but they will absolutely find a Monday or a Friday either reacting to football games or looking ahead to football games. Skip Bayless will be a part of whatever plan they got moving forward at ESPN. You just can't really deny those numbers. People wanted to see those two again. I watched the first 30 minutes of First Take. I usually only really catch the social clips with it. I watched it on the television. I wanted to see what it looked like for the first 30 minutes or so.
I agree that he'll be back. I wonder if ESPN is going to suffer from, too much of a good thing syndrome. Because I think one of the reasons why this did so well is it's a one-off.
For sure.
So if you sell him every Thursday and Friday, here's Skip, it will not do as well. But if you're telling me, hey, it's the ahead of the Cowboys Thanksgiving game on the Friday before Thanksgiving, Skip's back. On the Friday before the playoffs start, Skip's back. On the Friday before the NBA Finals, Skip's back. Like, I think if you play this correctly with ESPN and you pick your spots, you can have 4 to 8 really big television ratings days a year with Skip Bayless being back. But if you make it a 16 to 32 times it happens thing, people will just be like, oh, ho hum, who cares? The same way when Mad Dog first started the show, it was huge numbers, not these big, but big. And now it's just, oh, ho hum, Mad Dog's on the show.
I think it's a little bit different just because of the relationship between Skip and Shannon, but I do understand the premise of what you're saying. I think that if you watch First Take, you want Shannon back on the show in some capacity. You want Skip back on the show in some capacity. So if you were trying to get the most viewers, the maximum amount of viewers, mending the relationship between Shannon and ESPN after everything that happened was at 18 months ago with Shannon's personal life, and getting Skip back on the show and having him once a week give his thoughts and commentary on football and what's happening, I do think you'll see that America will tune in to watch it. It's just something about watching those two guys go at it at the ESPN debate desk. Coming up on the other side, Rob, you know what? Why don't we go back to Broncos fans complaining? Because I enjoyed reading their tweets earlier. I enjoyed hearing their complaints. Oh, I've got more. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Future therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Peters Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peters Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peters Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peters Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLInjuryLaw.com.
Ongoing road work and a wreck. Eastbound I-70 stalls traffic from I-435 over to Noland Road. The I-29 bridge over 169 Clay County is now open after being closed for a while. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. We'll reset things coming up at 4 o'clock, but I just want to go back in case you missed it. And we might take this journey a couple more times in the show today because, there was a lot of complaining. So the Broncos and Chiefs are playing the first game of the season. The Chiefs are hosting the first matchup. And let me tell you, Broncos fans, they mad about it. Mark Schlereth, former Bronco, Super Bowl champion, great media guy, has been on the show a couple of times. He understands why Broncos fans are upset that they got to go on the road to Kansas City in week 1. Here's Mark Schlereth.
I mean, let's throw a little respect on Kansas City, what they've done over the last decade. Plus, when you think about all the ancillary things that go along with that, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, now they're married, she's going to be up in the box, all the things that add to, this is about the schedule release is about what gives us the best TV ratings. And, the NFL is no fools. They're not a $20 billion a year business because they don't understand, the television aspect of it and how much money that brings in. So I get it. I think it should be here in Denver. I mean, you swept them last year. You won the division. You went 14-3. You went to the AFC Championship game, albeit without your quarterback. You probably should have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl, and you have to open up on the road. I understand why. You should be pissed if you're Broncos country.
You mean kind of like when the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl 3 consecutive years and then opened up their season on the road in Brazil? You mean like that? You mean when the Chiefs opened up their season on the road in Arizona? You mean like that? What are we talking about here? I don't understand. The Chiefs will have a home game against the Broncos. The Broncos will have a home game against the Chiefs. I just don't know why it's so big of a deal of when the game is, when you have a guaranteed home game. This is not college football where you alternate between years between Michigan and Ohio State. No, both of you get a game, one at the Big House, one in the Horseshoe. Go win the game. But let me tell you, Rob, that Broncos fans were mad. And there's nothing I like more on this show than reading the comments of mad sports fans. Hit me, Rob. These ones were so good from earlier. I got to read them again. Denver earned and deserved the Monday Night Football opener at home. This pisses me the hell off. This is another fan. Absolute horse blank. Blank you at NFL commish. Oh, you mad. When you tweet the commissioner, you mad. Absolute horse blank. How could you reward the Chiefs with an opening home game after we beat them twice and won the division? More Broncos fans. Of course you would do this, NFL. Not only did we win the division, but we swept them last season. Why should we expect to open the season at home? Silly us. Another Broncos fan. So at NFL, you're telling me we win the division, we make a deep run into the playoffs, and we don't even get our season opener at home? But instead, we go on the road to play a team that didn't make the playoffs at all. I mean, come on. The Kansas City bias is getting ridiculous. What is wrong with these people? I don't want to be biased. I really don't. I don't want to be biased. Why we get so mad about the schedule blows my mind. The Chiefs and the Broncos play the same 14 games. The exact same 14 games. Now, some of those games will be at home. Some of those games will be on the road. But you get 8 or 9 home games. You get 8 or 9 road games. Maybe you play one internationally. But the Chiefs don't play an international game this year, and the Broncos don't play an international game. Why we're complaining about the order that the games come in is loser energy. It comes off as a fan base that hasn't won in quite some time. I don't like entitled. I hate entitled. I hate people feel like they deserve something that they didn't necessarily earn. You earn the right to play a home game in week 1? No, the only team that's earned that right is Seattle. Everybody else, you are up to possibly going on the road. Everybody else. You deserve it? So is this just because it's the Chiefs? Would Broncos fans be doing this if this was a game against the Chargers? Would they be doing this if this was a game against the Raiders? Would they be doing this if they had to go on the road to Carolina in week 1? But it's because they got to go on the road to Kansas City. That's why they're complaining about this? Because I could keep going. It's BS. Why do we not get to open the season at home? What? What do we? I don't. I'm perplexed, dumbfounded, confused. I don't know why this is an issue so much with Broncos fans. I don't know.
I understand sometimes when other NFL fans feel like the league is tilting toward the Chiefs. I mean, I get it.
This isn't one of those examples.
Exactly. I sometimes get it. This is not an example of that. Not even a little bit. The Chiefs are the division winner and won the AFC title game last year. You mentioned it. Where'd they play? On the road. Brazil. That was their road game. That was where they played their opener. Last year, the Ravens won their division. You know where they played their opener? On the road in Kansas City. This is just a thing that happens sometimes. I don't think it's official yet, but their belief among NFL people is the Bears are the opening game of the season in Seattle. You know what the Bears were? A division champ. And they're on the road. This is not a thing. I don't know why Denver fans are complaining about this. It's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Buffalo has a brand new stadium. They don't get to open their stadium until week 2. How dare the NFL do this to Buffalo? They've made the playoffs 5 consecutive years. They have Josh Allen on their team. How dare they not get week 1 at home? What? Weird. Real weird energy. You know what this calls for? We got to do it.
Let's ride.
Broncos.
Let's ride.
Perfect. Okay. One more time. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Oh, they're riding. They're riding right now. They're riding to the commissioner's office to complain. They have been slighted by the National Football League. How dare they not accommodate the Broncos? They were the 1 seed. They won a home playoff game last year. How dare you not give us the home opener? I mean, maybe I'm crazy. 15 teams in the NFL are going to start at home. 15 teams are going to start on the road. 2 of them got to go to Australia. Somebody has to go on the road. If you want it to be the Chiefs, that's fine. I don't care. You got to go. Every team has to go on the road a set number of times. You at least got to go on the road 8 times. Maybe you got to go on the road 9 times, but you at least got to go on the road 8 times. It always evens out. But no, they're complaining. You know what the Broncos should have done? They should have worked harder.
Well, I think, first of all, I think that, for me, I've always been about, the extra work. If somebody says, you got to do X amount, I triple it. That's just how I've always been,
Yeah, I mean, they should have tripled that hard work.
I'm sad the first game's on CBS. We can have Russ there. That would have been better.
That would have been great. That would have been great.
He would have been stretching on the airplane from wherever he lives to Kansas City.
They're just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't understand how they don't see it as an advantage. As a Chiefs fan, I would rather the game at Arrowhead be in the cold in November than at home in September. But
it's bad when even I point out, hey, you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? You're complaining too much. I mean, I love to complain. I have made a career out of I am a professional complainer. Even I'm like, hold on a minute, player. Hold on. You've stepped the line habitually. You are an habitual line stepper when it comes to this. This is not the thing to be complaining about. You know what? Let's talk a little Chiefs and Broncos on the other side, not related to the schedule. The NFL has already decided where the game's going to be. I have a football point about the first game of the season and how I think it relates back to the Chiefs. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the car crash kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Ongoing road work and a wreck. Eastbound I-70 stalls traffic from I-435 over to Noland Road. The I-29 bridge over 169 Clay County is now open after being closed for a while. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
With the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
I need a little range. Step to the range.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
Time's running out to get 10% off your home painting project. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event before May 15th. And if you've been putting off painting, now's the time. From scuffs inside to peeling paint outside, protect your home with CertaPro painters. Their free estimates are detailed and easy to understand. And each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. So schedule your free estimate now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was just at Staples. They're having a huge 40th anniversary sale.
40 years. Note to self, send flowers.
Up to 50% off. Save on chairs, paper, balloons, and more.
Balloons?
Yeah, Party City is now at Staples.
Surprise!
But the anniversary anniversary sale is only 2 weeks, so...
Quick, celebrate 40 years of savings at Staples with up to 50% off. Shop chairs, paper, break room supplies, and more. 2 weeks only. It's 523.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app.
Hello, this is Jason Gudenkoff with Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas, the home of $50 over factory invoice. Since 1979, our $50 over factory invoice pricing has been saving Kansas City Ford buyers thousands of dollars when buying a new Ford. Our no-hassle $50 over invoice pricing has helped us become the #1 F-150 dealer in the state of Kansas. And now, for the 9th time, the #1 F-150 dealer in the entire Kansas City area. At Lewisburg Ford, we understand that price is important, but it doesn't stop there. There's other factors to this equation: trade allowance, financing, and customer satisfaction. We don't just say that we're great at taking care of customers, we actually do it. Ford Motor Company has awarded us with the President's Award 23 times. This is the top honor that they give their Ford dealers for customer satisfaction in sales and in service. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, come see us at Lewisburg Ford. You can reach us at 816-444-2300 or on the web at lewisburgford.com.
Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Brought to you by Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit ClimateControlKC.com. Climate Control has been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle the scorching hot summer. Schedule your AC system tune-up for just $49. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Look out for Max Minute on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, let me give you a couple of the NFL schedule rumors, news, and notes that are out there. I think we know the Thanksgiving games. We at least know the first two. Lions and Bears. Lions always play on Thanksgiving. Makes sense. Divisional matchup should be very important. Lions and Bears. Eagles, Cowboys. There is a rumor right now coming out of New England. I do not know this. It has not been confirmed. I'm just passing the information. The rumor is that the Chiefs are going to play the Patriots in the night game. That's the rumor that's coming out. You know, there's always 3 games on Thanksgiving. The rumor is that the Chiefs are going to play the Patriots for the Thanksgiving night game. Now, we will find out, but I'm not patting myself on the back for this. It seemed very obvious to me. But, Rob, you remember I told you there is no way that the NFL is going to have all of those singular television windows and then not include the Kansas City Chiefs. There was just no world in which that was going to happen. There was no world in which they were going to have a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday night, Monday night football game and not include Kansas City. They were going to be involved in some way, and they're not playing on the Sunday 325 because the league is telling you that Sunday 325 on Thanksgiving doesn't matter a whole lot anymore. That's not a valuable time frame to have. So it is not confirmed yet, but I'm passing out the rumor right now that is coming out of New England. Chiefs, Patriots, Thanksgiving night in New England, which... that's a pretty good game. That's a good one. That's a good game. That's a good matchup.
If you think Week 1 Monday Night Football melted the NFL people brains for the Chiefs, just wait until they get Thanksgiving and Christmas again. Because we know the Chiefs want Christmas.
Yes,
they have always
they
been
want
active
Christmas.
in wanting. Clark Hunt's not been shy about saying we want to have Christmas for the Chiefs the way the Cowboys and Lions have Thanksgiving. Let the Chiefs get opener Monday night, Sunday night football, Thursday night football on Thanksgiving, and a Christmas game. Now, we don't know those things, but if it happens, Broncos fans will be in free fall.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that the NFL is going to have, how many, I'm thinking on top of my head. So Wednesday is one television window that's by itself. There's 3 on Thursday because there's 3 Thanksgiving games. There's a game on Friday now. So there's 5 standalone games before you get to Sunday.
And we know the Thanksgiving Eve game.
Yeah, I'm saying. So we're not even counting Sunday Night Football. I mean, if I'm counting correctly, there's 7 standalone windows the week of Thanksgiving. We're not counting any of the games Sunday at noon. There's not standalone games. I'm not even counting 325. I'm talking about where you were going to be able to get it. If there's 7 of them, you thought that there's going to be 14 teams in the league and the Chiefs weren't getting one of those games? They're getting one of them. Maybe they don't end up getting this one, but now we know they're not getting the Thanksgiving Eve. We know that's going to be the Rams playing the Packers, so that one is eliminated. Yeah, it just makes sense to me that the Chiefs will play on Thanksgiving.
And you've got to figure, we know now because the Lions and Cowboys, neither one was going to be on the Chiefs' schedule, so that those two are going to be out, and now you got to figure the Patriots are a team that they're going to want to promote. It's East Coast, Boston, the whole deal. It would make sense if that rumor comes to fruition that it would be Chiefs and Patriots Thanksgiving night up in New England. I'm not saying it will happen.
The text line is saying that the Chiefs have the home game against the Patriots, so my apologies. That'd be a home Thanksgiving night game.
Everything's
I would say great. Now, some of you are not going to be spending time with your family, at least at the house. You will be tailgating at the stadium, but I'm happy to be watching the Chiefs on Thanksgiving.
So if that's the case now,
that's one I actually would probably try to go to.
Let's talk this out now, though, because let's just deal with the rumors. Clark Hunt wants the Chiefs to be the Christmas Day team. They are likely the home game.
They ain't getting both.
That exactly.
They're not getting both. Now, maybe the league has said they don't want one specific team to have Christmas. So maybe the league is saying, all right, you want one of these 2 days, we'll give you the Thanksgiving night game, which will be a whole lot of fun for the Thanksgiving night game. And then we're not giving you Christmas this year. But yeah, that's I don't mind those games. I went to the Christmas Day game last year, and the Christmas Day game was a lot of fun. Now, I didn't do the tailgating. Like, I tailgate enough at Chiefs games. I was cool just going to the game and showing up. Also matters that it wasn't super important for Kansas City either, so it didn't really need to be much of a party. I spent time with my family and then drove out to the game and had a good time at the game. I like that game, though. Again, I don't know if this is 100% confirmed or not. This is just a rumor right now that is coming out of New England that the Chiefs and Patriots are going to play on Thanksgiving night.
By the way, this is not how it matters, but did you say that game didn't really matter for Kansas City on Christmas last year?
Good point. My bad. You're right. They didn't count at all. That's probably why they gave me the ticket. Oh, you want to go to the Chiefs? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, of course. Like, wait, hold on. This is the Christmas game.
They were 6-8, and they didn't have their quarterback. It couldn't have mattered less, honestly.
I never want to watch Chris Oladokun play football again. I don't.
If you do, something has gone horrendous, either A, in your life, or B, with the Chiefs. There's no reason Chris Oladokun, is he 4th in the depth chart right now?
They cut him, I think he's out of here. I think he's gone. I could be wrong, but I think he might be out of here.
If you're watching any game next year that features Chris Oladokun, you got 1-800-Gamblers Anonymous or whatever that number is. You need help.
Yeah, no, I could be wrong. I did want to talk about this. This is an actual football related point, not schedule related, not reading Broncos tweets mad about it. I actually think this Broncos game is a good barometer for Kansas City and what they've tried to do this offseason. They have completely started over on their secondary. They've completely started over on defense. Denver's a good test of that early on in the season. You just got, the Chiefs are going to have a new 1, 2, and 3 corner heading into that game against the Broncos. And I think you could argue that the Broncos have maybe the second best wide receiver room in the AFC after Cincinnati. You could probably make that argument. Like, I have to kind of go through the list, but just off the top of my head, if you were putting Cincinnati as having the best wide receiver room in the AFC, I don't really think that's that much of an argument. I think if you were making a list of number 2, I think you can make a strong argument that the Broncos are number 2 now with the addition of Jalen Waddle. If you wanted to see Mansour Delane get tested early and get thrown into the fire, and you want to, if you're a Noel Williams believer, like a lot of people are, you got Noel Williams, you got Mansour Delane, 2 young guys going up against Jalen Waddle, who I think is a legitimate number 1. You got him going up against Cortland Sutton. That's a really, really strong matchup week 1 that is going to test your young secondary and test the improvements that you made on your defense.
Now, doesn't that work both directions, though? Because the improvements you've made on your offense, which is basically just running back, and the belief you have in your offensive line, which is that Jalen Moore will be the right tackle and Patrick Mahomes will be back ready to go, aren't those things going to get thrown into question immediately? Because that Broncos defense is formidable. It's not just, for sure, hey, this is a good defense. If the Chiefs offense looks sluggish I believe they scored, what was the game in Denver? They scored 21 or 24 points in Denver. If that happens again and they lose and the offense looks sluggish at times, people are going to, like everyone does in week one, jump to conclusions and say, whoa, you were supposed to fix this, and it does not look fixed. Like, it's a great matchup for both sides of the ball as a litmus test early in the season.
Absolutely. And we talked about it yesterday. I mean, this is a perception-shaping kind of game, I would say, for both sides. If the Broncos come into Arrowhead and steal week one, the Broncos are going to walk around with their chests puffed out. We're the best team in the AFC West. And I don't really know if you can argue them based on what they did last year and then coming into Kansas City and stealing game one. Like, at least early on, they get to walk around with you are the favorite in the division. If you're Kansas City and your quarterback should be healthier, should be able to knock some of the rust off, new look running game that should improve as the season goes on, Rice and Worthy healthy for week one at the same time, a defense that's completely starting over and should be better in the second half of the season. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos in week one, the Chiefs will also be able to walk around with their chest out. We're back. The AFC goes through us. The team that you guys told us was the best, they came to Arrowhead and we beat them like we normally beat them. We're back. Last year was a blip on the radar. Mahomes is back. Reed is back. Bieniemy is back. We are back. That will be the tone that a lot of Chiefs fans and a lot of media people, I think, will have about Kansas City.
Now it is literally 4 months away, but I want to get ahead of this. Because the Chiefs are facing Bo Nix, if Nix and Mahomes are on the field and the Chiefs do lose, and it works both ways, I don't want to hear from Broncos fans either if the Chiefs win. I do not want to hear excuses about the health of the quarterback if both players are playing.
100%.
Because to what you're saying, either the Chiefs fans will puff their chest out and saying, we're back, the AFC goes through us, or Broncos fans will say, your reign of terror is over. We're now the kings of the AFC. I do not want to hear in rebuttal or see on social media, yeah, well, our quarterback's hurt. No, he played in the game. Either team this applies to, that is just, to the victor goes the spoils whenever that game is played.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, Jalen Waddle's overrated. He hasn't had over 1,000 yards in the last 2 seasons. He's Rashee Rice. Yeah, I disagree. I think Jalen Waddle's still very, very good. I think it's been a lot of quarterback issues, but at 27 years old, yeah, I'm not saying I think Jalen Waddle's one of the 10 best wide receivers in the league. I think this is kind of the conversation we had about Rashee Rice. Like, wide receiver is so good, it's so deep at the position. I'd probably put Jalen Waddle more in that like 20 to 25 range. But I still think Jalen Waddle's still a guy that you would not be surprised if in week one of the NFL season, Jalen Waddle had 5 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown against the Chiefs. Like, you just would not be stunned if he does it. I think he's one of those kind of players. I think he's legitimate number one. I'm a big Jalen Waddle guy. I always like those like 1/2s, the Chris Godwin, the T. Higgins, the Jalen Waddle types. I always like those guys.
You took the words out of my mouth. You love a 1A.
Yeah, I do. I do.
I mean, we don't know if they're a 1. We don't know if they are a 2 in their current team. But if you had a receiver core of Waddle, Godwin, and T. Higgins, you would think you're elite.
That's what we'd be. That's because everybody likes the same 7 receivers. Yes, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, I like A.J. Brown's really good.
Why don't you have a little
Justin
courage?
Jefferson's really good. You got to really appreciate that second tier of guys.
Why don't you have a little courage and join me on the Cortland Sutton bandwagon? I've been here for a while.
Let's move on. All right.
The true Broncos number 1.
Let's move on. I don't want any parts of that. All right, coming up on the other side, let's talk about the Royals. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
And Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
And workouts that just don't deliver like they used to. Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844 447-6600 or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the High Chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase, 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Spring is showing up and showing out. Give your yard its own moment with limited time deals from Lowe's. Grab select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets, 2 for only $15. Plus, we've got Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for just $10. A little dirt, a little color, and we are so back. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid 5/7 through 5/13. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel? You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, a contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
A crash has the left lane closed, I-70 at I-470. Southbound I-35 jams up at South 7th and stays that way all the way down to I-635. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here. Rob, before we talk a little Royals baseball, I want to take a very, very small detour just to ask your opinion. I'm sure by now you know that Stephon Diggs and Cardi B, they have a child together. And they're in I don't know what they're in. They were together, now they're not together, now they're maybe back together. I don't know, but they got a kid together. That's the most important part of this. Well, TMZ got video of them arguing outside a coffee shop, and it looked like, to me, Cardi B was winning said argument. Like, I'm looking at her hands. You can't hear it, but she's yelling, and he's leaned back with his arms crossed. I feel like we've all been in this situation before. Rob, what's worse in this scenario? Do you think it's worse as the man for your girl to be yelling at you in public that people can see? Or is it worse when your girl breaks down and starts crying in public and now you have to be the one to console her? What's the worst situation to be in?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think it's situational because, like, there are certain places where crying is objectively worse. Like, have you seen that? There's a viral video of a woman crying on an airplane after an argument with her boyfriend, or I think ex-boyfriend at the time. That's bad because not everyone on the plane knows, oh, something bad happened there.
Okay,
and that's your fault.
I'll give you the scenario.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if this was a scenario because they were at a coffee bar, but
like a Starbucks type deal? Okay.
I don't know, some Maryland local coffee bar. So let's say you are out, you and your girl, and your girl catches you looking at another girl. You didn't go up to her, you didn't say nothing, but it's a club. People are dancing, it's vibes, everybody's drinking, and she catches you looking at another girl. What situation is more embarrassing for you? Is it more embarrassing that in that scenario, she just starts to yell at you? Or is it more embarrassing if she just breaks down and starts to cry?
Cry's worse there. Because I presume in this loud environment from dancing, the yell, it is loud. So, like, you know, maybe people hear the yelling, but I imagine loud music drowns it out. Crying, everyone sees that that woman is crying. So crying is worse.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
But if it's like a coffee bar, like if it's Starbucks and you're sitting out front having a coffee and your girl starts laying into you, just screaming at you, that's the worst.
I don't know. You cannot hear the audio. Somebody is just like in their car and clearly have them. I'm just going to guess that Stephon Diggs was in the wrong. I don't know even what they were arguing about, but you're the man and you're like, you can see it. Like he's on his back legs with his arms crossed and Cardi B is going off on him. I'm just going to assume that Stephon Diggs is in the wrong there.
I think the history of Stephon Diggs would also make you think that he's probably wrong.
He did some nonsense, like just some nonsense. And then she just started yelling at him in front of everybody.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the people. When you're out and then you see the couple that they're off to the side and they're just arguing, I normally feel bad for them. Like, y'all couldn't do this in the car. Y'all couldn't do this when you was at the crib. Like, the rest of us are looking.
Yeah, there's a third-party cringe factor that starts to leak in. You're like, oh, I feel just, stop it.
For sure. Did you see the news on Town Topic? Town Topic, the one over on Broadway, they are no longer going to be open for 24 hours. They are citing safety concerns.
There was a shooting in that parking lot next to them, so that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, in that little parking lot right next to it.
Do they have? I didn't see they have new hours. I know it's not 24 hours.
You're not going to be open 24 hours anymore because they're used to, I guess before they had all this, you couldn't come in.
Correct.
But they would like kind of have a little door, a little window, and then they would serve you out there, and then everybody would kind of be outside. Actually, Cardi B has done that one time when she was in town for Beyonce. She actually went to Town Topic. But yeah.
In that parking lot where the problem happened.
For sure. So everybody just kind of hangs in the parking lot. They say, Rob, you come get your food and then you can eat outside or you can go home or whatever. They are saying, citing safety concerns, they are going to have to close. They are now going to close at 8 p.m. moving forward. They announced it. They said that
all days, including weekends?
They said 8 p.m. They are closing at 8 p.m.
Oh,
they said that the crime in the area, it has hurt their ability to keep a staff and keep customers safe during the overnight hours. One part that was really interesting, we don't got to rehash this conversation, is I felt like the text line was very hard on crime, but also wants loose liquor laws, which just seems like a very difficult thing to balance both of those things. Like, we've all been out before. The later you usually stay out, normally the more shenanigans that happen. So why people were just on the, let them do whatever, stay open until 5 a.m., just seems like a lot wrong can happen at that time, like we know can happen. when everybody's hanging out, liquor, testosterone, women, all this stuff going on, normally a lot of foolishness happens. So I don't know how anybody can be shocked that while it's a bunch of people hanging out in this parking lot right next to Town Topic, some shenanigans go down. And Town Topic was like, no, we just can't do this anymore. We don't have the manpower to do this. And we can't keep everybody safe, so we're just not going to do it anymore.
I mean, I understand the logic and I understand the reason, and I'm not debating that. But you're telling me you can't get late night eats at Town Topic anymore after a night in the Crossroads? We're losing recipes, man. We're losing recipes.
No, for sure we are. Somebody said, "Seat out." Are we talking about white girl yelling or black girl yelling? Because there's levels to it. That's a good point.
I imagine Cardi B. I haven't seen the video.
We know
but
enough
I can
about
picture.
Cardi B yelling.
Oh yeah,
that's not a hurricane I want to be in the middle of. Not at all.
That's not a tropical
hurricane
storm.
I want to be in the middle of.
That's Hurricane Sandy. That's not a quick tropical storm.
You might not want to snitch on yourself. Is Caroline a yeller or a crier?
Yeller.
Okay. What always amazes me about women's best quality to me is how quickly they can go from both emotions.
Oh yeah, it's a pendulum.
You can see all the range of a woman in a 20-minute span. You can see them overly excited. You can see them start crying, mad. I don't have that range of emotions. I don't. Not at one complete sitting. I don't have the ability to just go on that full end of the spectrum. Women's ability to do that is by far and away their greatest skill.
I don't know if it's a skill, but they do run the gambit, generally speaking.
Okay, I just was saying. White girl yelling and black girl yelling. That's a good question. I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. That's a great question. Cardi B yelling at you it does not seem like a scenario that I would want to be in. You know what? Let's just play this again.
I don't really get jet lag too often. I don't really, I've traveled enough to get, kind of get my system down. But yeah, for me, I was on the plane. First 2 hours, I was, probably 8 hours flight here. That's the first 2 hours I was watching the film, watching all the cut-ups and everything else. And then for the next 4 hours, I was doing treatment on the plane. I was walking up and down the aisles. Everybody was knocked out. I was doing high knees and working on my legs and everything else, make sure I'm ready to rock. So that was good. And then the last 2 hours, the last hour of that, I fell asleep for 1 hour, and I watched the film the rest. So
Russell Wilson might be the greatest person that lives among us. Rob, I have two Royals thoughts that I would like to share with you. Number one, I guess is more of a question than a thought. Do you feel like the home run yesterday from Salvador Perez is the beginning of him turning things around? He hit a home run yesterday. He had those 2 days off. First at bat, opposite field home run. Do you feel like that is a spark to get things going for Salvi?
Let me say, I really hope so. But I've heard too many people, JJ Piccolo on with Cody and Gold yesterday, and now Joel Goldberg on us today saying when Salvador Perez is at his happiest, he is catching. If he is not catching more than 3 nights a week, that would mean that he's not healthy. Joel Goldberg also told us he's battling a groin injury and a hip injury. So you can't really have him behind the plate more than 3 times a week. And if that's going to be the case where he's just a DH, I don't know what was the spark that gets him to turn the corner. And I really hope it is, because the way we talk about the Royals would change dramatically if their 4-hitter is actually hitting. Like he's not hitting even a little bit right now. So I am hopeful that's the spark, but I worry because of the wear and tear and the health and the fact that he has limited his catching ability, which is where he's happiest. I don't know that one at-bat is the spark.
This is the second thing that I want to run by you. It's been hard for me to come up with Royals topics because there really is only one topic. Like, we have a show meeting every day with Spec. What I'm thinking, what Rob is thinking, what Spec is thinking, and we hash out ideas. And Spec is always like, you know what? The show could use a little bit more Royals here or a little bit more Royals here. And I will admit, my brain is blocked because there's really only one conversation to have about the Royals. Are they going to get back to 500? Because no other conversation that we have about the Royals ultimately will matter if the Royals don't get back to 500. So it's 2 questions with the Royals. Having conversations about Salvador Perez are important conversations to have. Having conversations about Vinny Pasquantino, also important conversations to have. The inside the park home run from Bobby Witt Jr., an amazing play. Is Cole Reagan's going to come back? Yes, there are always storylines about your baseball team. They play every day. There's only 2 questions with the Royals. Are they going to get back to 500? And if yes, when are they going to get back to 500? Because you can't have playoff conversations if you're under 500. You are not winning your division if you are under 500. So the Royals, it would appear they have cooled off to me. Now, they did a lot of the heavy lifting. The Royals were dead in the water not that long ago, and they did a lot of work to get themselves right there. But I made this basketball analogy when it was happening. It is great when you are watching a basketball game and a team is down 18 and then they get it down to down 4. We've all been in that scenario. And the crowd is starting to stand up and you're clapping and you got to hit a big shot. You got to get a stop. Well, then you miss a 3. And now the other team has a run out layup. And now you could have cut the deficit to 1. Now you're down 6. And now you got to keep constantly going on runs to try to get yourself out of the scenario that you've created for yourself. The Royals had one of those moments. The Royals' best chance to get from out under 500 was last week when they were at home. They won their first 2 games at home against the Guardians. You had a 4-game set against a team that was in your division. The Royals, if I remember correctly, they were 1 game under 500. You had to figure out a way to win one of those 2 games. How we would feel about the Royals would be drastically different if the Royals had won either last Wednesday or last Thursday. They didn't. So now it just delays another week until you can get yourself back over 500. So I'm all for having conversation about the Royals. I'm not saying we're never going to talk about them, but every conversation that you can possibly have about this baseball team is wrapped up into 2 things. Are they going to get to 500? Because that opens up the next level of conversations. And if the answer is yes, if they are going to get back to 500, when are they going to do that? Are they going to do that in September? Are they going to do that in May? Are they going to do that in early June? Because when they get back to 500, we'll then ask, do they need to go be players in free agency? Do they need to be players at the trade deadline? Do they need to maneuver and try to make a serious run at the division?
Let me ask you this. I know we kind of talked about this last week. The Royals had a big opportunity. They had the 7 games at home against the division. Now they're playing 3 in Chicago. They have 10 games against the division. Right now, they've played 8 of those games. They are 4-4. And you know what? 4-4 over an 8-game stretch, that's fine baseball. There's nothing wrong with 500 baseball over a 10-game stretch. There are 16 10-game stretches over the course of a baseball season. You're going to have 500 ones. That's fine. But do you think the Royals missed an opportunity to really turn the tide on the season? Because not only did they win the first 2 against the Guardians and then spit away the final 2, they won the first 2 against the Tigers and couldn't finish the sweep. Now, I know asking for a sweep is a big ask, but a 5-2 homestand feels a lot different than 4-3, because then if you lose that first one in Chicago, you still feel like, oh, we can still have a winning, 10 games against the division. Do you feel like they failed to really maximize that homestand and maximize this 10-game window because it keeps slipping up?
They absolutely did. No question they did. They had a chance. Now, again, I'm not saying they cannot get over 500. They absolutely can get over 500. There's a lot of time left, but when you created the deficit that they created, you just create a lot more work for you. I can make another analogy. It's not a basketball analogy. You can't screw up in the early part of the semester. Like, if you got a kid and your kid just didn't turn in assignments, didn't take tests, man, there's only so much work you can do at the end of the year to make sure you get an A. At some point, you just got to take a C. Hey, you didn't fail, but because of the lack of work you didn't do in the first couple of days in the quarter or the first month of the quarter, that is ultimately why you got a C in that course. That's kind of where I feel like the Royals are. The Royals got an F for a month. They got an F in April. So you can't balance out that F by just now getting C's the rest of the way. You got to start getting A's and B's the rest of the way in order to balance it out. They've been fine in the month of May. They've been fine. A little bit up, a little bit of down. They got themselves, for the most part, out of the situation. But if you want to seriously contend and seriously be one of the teams that gets discussed on a national level, you have to get over 500. Because right now, you're just one of the teams in the noise. There's a lot of teams in the noise right now in the American League. Whole league is in the noise right now. There's 3 decent teams. There's 2 good teams in the American League. The Guardians right now are probably the 3rd best team. And then, you can make a case for literally everybody else outside of those 3 teams. We're talking about There's 14 teams, 13 teams that are all just jumbled up. The Royals are one of those teams. What are the Royals going to do to separate themselves and really give themselves a chance in their division? And what could separate them from the rest of the pack when it comes to the wild card conversation?
Right now, because of how bad their April was, they need to have a month like they had last year in July. Because I pulled this up, and I am not here to wax poetically about the 82 and 80 Royals from last year. I understand that. But if you look at how their months broke out for last year's team, 500 in March, a game over 500 in April, 2 games over 500 in May, 1 game under 500 in September, 4 games over 500 in August. They were 6 games over 500 in July, and they were 10 games under in June. And those 2 months basically defined their season. They went 82 and 80. The Royals have not had a 2025 June level of bad month. But because they got behind the 8 ball a little bit, they need to have what their version of July is. And it probably needs to happen sooner rather than later. Because if they get red hot in August, who cares? If you get red hot in September, who cares if you're 3-4 games under 500? I'm not saying it needs to be today, but you need to find that month where you just go, oh, wow. And I remember last year in July, after that horrible June, the Royals did catch fire, and there was a new belief in town they can make this happen. They need that kind of month, and it starts with good weeks and good stretches, and 4-3 and 4-4 over 8 is not how you make that happen.
We had Joe Goldberg on the show earlier. We asked him about Salvador Perez. Here's what he had to say.
I don't think so much this is based on his health, and he's not going to make the excuses. So, I mean, as close as I am with Salvi, he's not even going to tell me, like, man, I'm really hurting here. But you hear stuff quietly elsewhere. It's a testament to how he's never going to make excuses. But, what I learned last night, and I reported on the air, is we've talked so much about this hip injury. And what I found out from their head trainer, Kyle Turner, is that it's been a chronic hip problem, both hips for 6 years, which just has to do with all the wear and tear of catching, and that it'll grab them, it'll pull them, there'll be some pain, and then it goes away. And so a little bit of rest, get back in there, a little bit of rest, get back in there. But in the last 3 weeks, he added in a groin strain, and that is not something that just heals, and that there's a lot of pain and issues within there, and that he's playing through all of that. So is last night what Salvi needed? I don't know. I know this much, that Salvi is, happiest at peace. I mean, he's a happy guy when he's catching. He wants to be in on that action, and he's been DHing a lot. And so is last night the night that turns the corner? I think that's a really hard thing to say.
You know what just hit me? And maybe this hit a lot of you a while ago. Man, our 20s are coming to a close. Salvador Perez, I'm not saying this is his last year. Salvi ain't got a whole lot of baseball left in his body. He just doesn't. Salvi's been in our lives for a very, very long time and played baseball at the absolute highest of levels. I mean, I'm checking it right now. Salvador Perez debuted August 10th of 2011. Talking about 15 years Salvi has been in our life. We have seen Salvi go from a 21-year-old coming up to local legend, local hero. Salvador Perez should never have to pay for a drink the rest of his life in Kansas City. I'm sure we all feel that way about Salvador Perez, but it's ending soon. Maybe it doesn't end this year. Maybe it ends next year. Salvi ain't got 3 more years left to play in baseball. It doesn't appear that way to me. I would also say our 20s are ending with Travis Kelce. Like, we have seen the full spectrum of Travis Kelce, from being drafted out of Cincinnati to not being able to play his first year in the NFL, to being a little bit immature early in his career, but you could clearly see the talent, to figuring it out, to getting in a relationship with the most famous person in America, to now being engaged to that person. Next thing you know, we're going to look up one day and Taylor Swift's going to be pregnant. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, and that's going to be the biggest Instagram post ever. Like, that period in our life and that period in our sports fandom is ending. And now it is time for the next generation of sports athletes to emerge. Can Vinny go on that kind of run? Can Bobby Wood Jr. maintain what he's been doing? Maikel Garcia? Can Mansour Delane be one of those kind of players? Can Nick Bolton have a double-digit year career that we look at Nick Bolton the same way that we look at Derek Johnson? Can Kenneth Walker come in and we have conversations? Is this one of the best free agent pickups in Chiefs history? Like, People who have been in our lives for 10, 12, 15 years like Salvi, they do not have a lot more time of being in our life in this way. Again, I'm not trying to push Salvi out the door, but Salvi is a 36-year-old catcher. They have clearly found their catcher for the future, and his numbers are starting to dip and decline. Salvi ain't got another 3 or 4 more years playing baseball, in my opinion, at least not in a Royals uniform. I don't think Salvi would ever go play for another team. We got like a year and a half at most, I think, to appreciate Salvador Perez.
To that appreciation, with all players as they age, what you hope as a fan and what the player hopes is the player gets to make the decision on when it's over.
For sure.
And I think what I worry about with Salvador Perez, and I think where he's different than Travis Kelce is, Travis Kelce is no longer the best tight end in the NFL, but he's still productive.
Absolutely.
There's still a role for him. Now, I haven't seen him play a snap in 2026, but he's still productive. There's still a role for him. If this is the version of Salvador Perez that we're going to see for his final 18 months in Kansas City, because he has the contract that runs through next year, he is going to, like that quote from The Dark Knight, live long enough to become the villain. I think there's a lot of people in town who have a bad taste in their mouth about Alex Gordon, even though he was the hero of the World Series, because he got paid, he stuck around, he was mediocre, the team was worse. If Salvador Perez, who right now is an anchor in their offensive lineup, with a 100-something batting average and an on-base percentage of 2-something, which is abysmal, if he's doing that every night, fans will go from, that's the World Series MVP, that's my hero, the Salvi splash, to what are we doing? Why is this old man in the lineup? So you hope he gets better so that he gets to walk out on his own terms with fans viewing him in a positive light.
Yeah, I just think that normally that ends. Like, I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree. But, I mean, that's kind of how people talked about Alex Gordon at the end. But we also all agree that Alex Gordon should have a statue at some point. Like, I think sports have a way of kind of like disregarding the end. We don't ever talk about Jordan playing for the Washington Wizards. Like, we don't talk about Iverson going to play for the Pistons or the Grizzlies. Like, he is a Philadelphia 76er that steps over Tyronn Lue. So I absolutely understand what you're saying. I just don't know if our memories work that way when it comes to the legends, when it comes to the greats. I will say this, though. We are on the last Travis Kelce contract and the last Salvador Perez deal. Salvi has a deal for this year and next year, and then he is an unrestricted free agent. I kind of find it hard to believe that at 38 years old in 2028, the Royals are going to keep paying Salvi what they've been paying him. They're paying him $12.5 million right now. And we all kind of know that Kelce is on a year-by-year, 1 year, we'll see how I feel kind of basis. Two legends, two guys are in the conversation of being on the Kansas City Mount Rushmore. Their story is coming to an end. We'll reset things coming up at the top of the hour. We'll see if the Royals can get back to their winning ways against the White Sox. Keep it right here, so Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends over at Gates Barbecue. I just ate at Gates Barbecue on Sunday evening, and let me tell you, oh my goodness, it was delicious. I went to the one over there on Main Street, over by Liberty Memorial. I got the little wing pack. I got 5 wings. I got me a little bit of fries with it, too. I also got the burnt E-Mac. I'm telling you, trust me, listen to me. The next time you go to Gates, please make sure you get that burnt E-Mac. It is very high on my list of best side dish in the city when we're talking about barbecue. You can get this at any one of the Area 5 locations, and they got so much more than that. If you got a sweet tooth, you want some desserts, you can get the cherry pie at every location. You can get the yammer pie as well. I put Rob onto the yammer pie. He was eating pumpkin pie his whole life. You know what? Not anymore. Now he's eating some of the yammer pie. I also want to tell you guys, with Memorial Day right around the corner, go stop by any one of the area locations. You can pick up a party tray. You got people coming over. You can pick up some supplies. If you're going to barbecue on your own, you're going to throw something on the grill, pick up some of that classic Gates sauce, pick up some of that classic Gates seasoning. You can also get some seasoning for your salads, so you can still have some of that Gates taste, even if you're trying to eat a little different and you're trying to eat green. Whatever it is, I'm telling you, Gates Barbecue has you taken care of. So it doesn't matter if it's on the website, doesn't matter if it's at your local grocery store, or if you stop in store. Whatever you do, make sure it includes Gates Barbecue.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Replacing your HVAC doesn't have to be an emergency. Plan now, pay less later. For a limited time, take advantage of an HVAC replacement with financing starting as low as $149 a month. More options, better timing, and less stress for your home.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLInjuryLaw.com.
A crash has the left lane closed, I-70 at I-470. Southbound I-35 jams up at South 7th and stays that way all the way down to I-635. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Follow this station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
All right, I have 2 things I want to talk about before we reset things at the top of the hour. Now, I think I know the answer, but sometimes you guys surprise me. I know that you guys are not NBA fans, and for the most part, reject any conversation that we ever try to have on this show about the association. But I am curious because I would say that every generation, every cycle, basketball usually has an individual that the world feels like they need to see. From Magic and Bird to Mike to Kobe to LeBron to Steph Curry, there is usually a person that the world wants to see play basketball. I think you are starting to see that person emerge in the NBA. Victor Wembanyama is amazing. He is incredible. Now, I know that Kansas City is never going to be an NBA market, and some of the reasons that people have, they all make sense to me on why you can't really get into the NBA. But America usually tunes in for these things. I mean, you've seen LeBron James play basketball a lot of times in your life. You've seen Steph Curry play basketball a lot of times in your life. There are a lot of people that you've seen a bunch play once they get to that level. I think you are seeing that player emerge in the NBA. I am curious, text line 913-586-7965. Is Victor Wembanyama on this list for you? Has he already crossed over? And if he has not crossed over, I am here to tell you that he is about to cross over here very, very soon. This Spurs and Thunder series, I think it's the best series we've had since the run of LeBron against Steph. I'm not saying it's that level. That was built up over a long period of time, and we're talking 2 all-time players. But you're talking about an individual series between the 2 it teams right now in the NBA. You got 2 young superstars that feels like a coin flip. I can't wait for this Spurs and Thunder series. The Thunder are already there. The Spurs got to win one of these next 2 games. I fully expect them to do that, and I cannot wait. If this Spurs series ends in 6, that series is going to begin on May 18th. I think the ratings will reflect that people are excited about that. I'm just curious if Victor Wembanyama has turned into a guy where even if you are not a big basketball fan, you think to yourself, I want to see this kid play.
I'm not saying Wembanyama can't do it in Kansas City. I don't want to say that he can't. But let me ask you this. If LeBron and Steph and they're back and forth for 4 straight years in the NBA Finals, that was basketball at a very high level, couldn't push people. You think Wembanyama can? Well, we had LeBron versus Durant, and I don't think Kansas City fell in love with the NBA. I'm not saying that.
I'm not talking about falling in love with the NBA. There's not a single person that could get you to fall in love with the NBA. But I'm saying is there is game 1 of the Western Conference Final. It's the Thunder and the Spurs. Have they got to the point that would get you to say, I'll turn it on the television? I'll watch the game. I'm not expecting anybody now to just pick up the banner for the NBA. You've made a determination by now if you like the NBA or not. I can't convince you. Like, you've seen Michael Jordan play basketball. You've seen LeBron play basketball. You've seen Kobe play basketball. You've seen Steph. If the NBA ain't for you, it just ain't for you. There ain't nothing I can do to convince you. But again, you've seen Jordan play a bunch of times before. For some people, the Western Conference Final will be their first time watching Victor Wembanyama play. And I remember the first time that I watched him play. I went to go see him in person. I had never seen anything like it before. And I think people generally, when it comes to basketball, they get excited about those individuals. That's what happened with Caitlin Clark. We've seen a lot of women's basketball in our life before. I had never seen a women's basketball player do what she was doing. I've seen Sue Bird, Candace Parker. I never seen step between the legs, pull up from 40 feet, nothing but net from a women's basketball player before, and we started to watch it. You've never seen anything like Victor Wembanyama. It ain't like KD. It's not like Giannis. I can't explain the kind of stuff that he does. It's amazing.
I think he can capture the average viewer. I think, Specs this earlier, that Bob now is mentioning on the morning show that he is now tuned in to see Victor Wembanyama. He doesn't care about the league, to your point, but he is interested in Victor Wembanyama. I think if he makes the finals, you will see maybe a little bit of a pivot there. But I think if he loses in the conference finals, I think people will be like, oh, ho-hum, and they'll turn it off. They don't like watching SGA.
Someone on the text line says, we keep lowering the bar for the greatest of all time group conversation. Tim Duncan Spurs were more exciting than Wemby. I'm sorry. He's 22 years old, and this is his first time in the playoffs. I don't really know how we can come to some of these conclusions yet. It just started. It just started with Wemby. He's 22. There's never been an NBA player win unanimous defensive player of the year. He's the first one to do it. So I don't know what this is going to turn into. I'm excited to see the journey. I'm telling you, he does just amazing things, like every single game. You're not supposed to be his size, can shoot it the way that he can run up and down the floor, and be the undeniable best defensive player in the league at 22 years old. You're not supposed to be able to do all those things. He is a true prodigy, in my opinion. Like, we talk about prodigies and unicorns, and we love that term of once in a generation. This is the once in a generation basketball player of its time. The way that LeBron was, where LeBron has been in our life since he was a junior in high school, the way that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was for his generation, there is the way that Shaq was.
Steph Curry?
I don't think he was once in. I mean, he turned out to be a once in a generation
I'm just
player.
curious.
He turned out to be one of those kind of guys and a transcendent player. I'm talking about Kareem was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in the 60s in high school. That kind of stuff just didn't happen. We've never seen anything like that before. You were around when the LeBron thing happened. LeBron in high school was the number one topic on SportsCenter. He was that kind of prospect. That's the same thing happening right now with Wembanyama. He's that level of prospect to me.
As much as Wembanyama is fun to watch, you think if Kansas City starts watching SGA, they'll hate watching that because that is not as pleasurable experience as Victor Wembanyama. That's the thing that will be interesting to me. If Kansas City people say, you know what, I will turn on the NBA game tonight. Watching people locally figure out live in real time, hey, SGA is not a pleasant viewing experience. Will also be hilarious to watch.
Not at all. That's what I'm saying. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for the next round. I want the Spurs to go ahead and win. I want the Spurs to go ahead and advance, and I cannot wait for Oklahoma City and San Antonio. I think we are going to be in line for 6 or 7 incredible games. If they play games like how it was for the NBA Cup back in December, remember that game was in Vegas? If they play 6 or 7 games like that, I mean, this will be the best basketball series we've seen since the Cavs came back from the 3-1 deficit. Like, that's, I think, the quality of basketball that I think we could see in this NBA. I think it's the NBA Finals, but it's the NBA Western Conference Finals, and then the winner of that will either play the Knicks or the Pistons. I'm going to go ahead and advance the Pistons to the next round because the Pistons are playing James Harden in the postseason, and you already know. Last thing on the NBA, this isn't even an NBA topic. We were sitting around today, and Rob and Specht asked me if Kansas City had a James Harden. I actually don't think Kansas City has one. I don't think, and maybe you guys have a better understanding of who this could be. I don't think that Kansas City has a player that was so dominant and so great in the regular season that then was a complete no-show in the postseason. If anything, I can think of more players that have existed in Kansas City that weren't very good in the regular season and then magically turned into special players in the postseason. That's how Sammy Watkins was in Kansas City. That's how Frank Clark was. For all the grief that Daniel Sorensen got, Daniel Sorensen made a couple of key plays. Like, there isn't really the person who, this guy's an all-time great, but then when the games get most important, he never does anything. I just couldn't think of who that person was in Kansas City history. We'll reset things coming up at the top of the hour. Let's talk about the Kansas City Royals. They are on the road in Chicago. I've got some numbers for you. Can the Royals get over this? I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Watch for ongoing construction on US 69 between 103rd and 151st Streets. Lane restrictions on the Lewis and Clark Viaduct along I-70 and bridge and ramp work near downtown on the Missouri side. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in prizes this mid-year's Eve. Saturday, June 6th, one lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold hard cash at midnight. And leading up to the big finale, we are calling names to win $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn entries all throughout May and June. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, the weather outside is beautiful. We are at a great point of the sports calendar. We just concluded with the draft. We got baseball going on. We got the playoffs going on right now in basketball and hockey. And you know what? Golf season is in full swing. And let me tell you that right now, all FanDuel customers can get two, not one, but two 30% profit boosts to use before the golf tournament begins this week. Use them on top finishes, top 5, top 10, top 20, and more. And back the golfers you think will be in the mix come Sunday, because in a tournament like this, it's not just about who wins, it's about who stays near the top. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started today and get two 30% boosts to use during the golf tournament this week. It's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is with non-withdrawable profit token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Been putting off some much-needed painting? Well, don't wait. Trust the professionals at CertaPro Painters to get the job done right. With over 70,000 five-star reviews, they make the process worry-free, starting with a detailed proposal and ending with a professional result at the right price. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Trading the jacket for flip-flops? Start your sun-soaked getaway stress-free with Park & Go. All covered parking keeps your car cool and protected while you're catching rays. Quick shuttle straight to the terminal. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer-approved.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Mark Solinger, producer and one of the hosts of the Moth podcast. For nearly 2 decades, The Moth has brought live storytelling to stages around the world and to millions of listeners. These are real people telling true stories from their lives. Stories about a lost family recipe, about working to free a wrongfully convicted man, about realizing you need to leave your May-December romance. Stories that will move you, surprise you, make you laugh. Stories you can't forget. Join us. Follow and listen to The Moth wherever you get your podcasts.
Mia from the Winnings Desk. Every Missouri lottery ticket helps support Missouri public education. Over $8 billion and counting. I was going to list every school, but yeah, there's over 2,400 of them. See the full list at molottery.com/education. Play it forward and play responsibly.
Tonight, expect a mostly clear night with a low of 55.
Weather brought to you by Capital One. Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank guide. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey Royals fans, it's Seth Lugo. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, we have a lot of things to get into. Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. We don't have a whole lot of time, so let's not waste time. Rob, you got a little bit of breaking news. Hit it.
The Drive. First to breaking news in Kansas City.
Is Andrew Schultz friend of the show? Doesn't matter.
No.
We want him to be a friend of the show, but he's not friendly with us.
And you know who Jordan Schultz is? The guy that's always like, oh, you know what? Hey, we're going to get lunch. Oh, we should hang out sometime, and never plans it. That's who he is to us. So no, he's not friend of the show. We don't got no beef with him, but he ain't our friend either.
Well, per Jordan Schultz, the NFL season will start with the Seahawks hosting at home the New England Patriots. The NFL season is set to begin with a rematch of the Super Bowl, per Jordan Schultz.
You want to watch that game again?
And now maybe without Mike Vrabel.
I'm just saying that was a game that we all wanted to see a rematch of. I've tried to forget anything that happened with last year's Super Bowl. I saw how Drake May looked at a neutral site. How I think is he going to look with that Seattle crowd screaming at him, yelling at him. Okay, well, I mean, I can't be mad at it. I mean, I'm going to watch it regardless. I mean, they could have had him playing anybody. I would have watched it, but
I'm actually surprised they picked that. Like, really surprised. Like, the rumors were it was going to be the Bears. Like,
that was the rumors.
And NFC.
I thought it was confirmed, honestly, until earlier today. This whole time, I've been operating with that too. It was the first game of the season. It was Bears and Seahawks, which, made a lot of sense to me.
I mean, I guess it's a little bit surprising to me. They're going with Super Bowl rematch in the opener.
So it's going to be great, I'm sure. We all are going to be there.
I know this. On Thursday, they're going to announce the biggest TV ratings I've ever seen, and we're all going to have to talk about it.
Why even bring that up? It's not obvious. It's going to be the most watched football game ever, they're going to tell us. Okay, so that's not even a rumor. That's confirmed now at this point. First game of the season, Patriots and Seahawks is the first game of the season. Second game of the season, Rams and Niners, if I'm not mistaken. That game is going to be on Netflix. And then we got our usual Sunday shenanigans. That's what we have. We do know that the Chiefs play on Monday Night Football. We'll get to that coming up in just a bit. Now, this is not confirmed. I'm just simply passing along the rumor. The rumor is that the Chiefs are going to host the Thanksgiving night game against the Patriots. That is the rumor right now that is circulating. We do not know this. This is not confirmed. But the rumor going around is that the Chiefs are going to be playing at home on Thanksgiving. This tracks to me. The Chiefs did a big number last year on Thanksgiving when paired with the Dallas Cowboys. They're not playing the Cowboys again. They're not playing the Lions this year. So you can't use them in either one of those windows. You have a night game. Why not put the Chiefs in that window? It's important to note that week, I mean, if we're counting Wednesday as the start of a new week, so we're not counting Monday Night Football the Monday before Thanksgiving. If we are saying that's the week before, the week of Thanksgiving, there is a Wednesday game that's going to be on Netflix. They just announced it. It's going to be the Packers and the Rams. So that's going to be a Netflix exclusive game, Thanksgiving Eve. On Thanksgiving, there are 3 games. So that's 4 standalone games. Amazon has a Black Friday game. That's 5. You have Sunday Night Football. That's 6. And Monday Night Football. That's 7. There are 7 standalone games on Thanksgiving week. The Chiefs are playing in one of those games. I don't know what time slot, but you are not picking 14 teams in the league to have their own exclusive window, and Kansas City is not going to be one of those 14 teams. So I don't know when you should be preparing to watch the Chiefs, but we know it's not going to be Wednesday because that game is already announced, and we are trying to figure out all the other games. But one of those standalone games, they are not putting the Chiefs at noon on Thanksgiving because they do not care about noon. Maybe they end up playing the 3:25 game on Sunday, but if anything, they've told you that Sunday is not that big of a deal for Thanksgiving week, that you can go ahead and do whatever else you need to do. But of those 7 standalone windows, Kansas City is getting one of those games. So the rumor is Thanksgiving night, that kickoff's normally 7:30 on NBC?
It's usually the same time as Sunday Night Football, so yeah, 7:30.
Yeah, they are telling you that Thursday at 7:30, you should be prepared to head out to Arrowhead Stadium because they are going to be hosting a game against the New England Patriots. That is the rumor right now that is circulating the webs.
And everything you're saying makes total sense to me. Like, if you're the league, you have the Lions, you have the Cowboys. Let's put the next biggest thing on there, the Chiefs. And we saw last year, and I don't know if it was Chiefs, Cowboys, or both, Chiefs and Cowboys, one of the most viewed NFL games of all time, regular season. It might have been the most viewed regular season game of all time. So let's just recreate the magic by having all those teams play again on that exact same day. So it would make sense to me if that happens. Plus, there is some history of the Chiefs playing on Thanksgiving. So yeah, that all adds up to me if that were to come to fruition.
All right, I will give you the choice for hit number 1. Would you like to make it a Royals hit, or would you like to make it a Chiefs and Broncos hit, Rob? I'll let you decide after you hit the music.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington, let's pivot to the Royals real quick before we circle back to sad Broncos fans. I'm curious, what was your one Royals point for the hits?
Oh, the Royals point I was going to make on the hits is going to be this. So, I don't have the answer to this. I don't think anybody has the answer to this. But sometimes the job is asking questions that you don't have the answer to. Rob, did you know that over the last 2 seasons, the Royals, they have gone 22-4 against the Chicago White Sox? The Royals have dominated the White Sox in a way that really no other team has dominated another team in Major League Baseball. Against every other team in baseball, the Royals have gone 146 and 152 against every other team in Major League Baseball. So the Royals have been the Dodgers when they have played the White Sox, and they have been slightly below 500 when they have played everybody else. Now, the White Sox are in your division. You don't create your schedule. I understand all of that. But one of the reasons why the Royals made the playoffs in 2024 was that they beat up on the Chicago White Sox. They played them 14 times. They won 13 of those matchups. They went under 500 against everybody else that year. Last year, a major reason of why the Royals finished over 500, they went 10-3 in their games against the Chicago White Sox. I only bring that up because this season they have a losing record against Chicago. Chicago is better this year. Now, I don't know if that means they're going to make the postseason. I don't know if that means that they're going to legitimately threat to make the playoffs, but I mean, we're 40 games in. The White Sox are better than the Royals. They're better than them. They've scored more runs. They have a better run differential. They've been better on the road than they've been. They've won more games through the first 40 games or so. The White Sox are not a team that the Royals are pushing around this year. Now, maybe the White Sox fade off, and maybe they win 75 games this year, which is a substantial improvement over what they've been, but obviously that's not good enough to make the postseason. If the Royals now don't have guaranteed wins on their schedule from going up against Chicago, where do the rest of those wins come from? Because they got to come from somebody. Is it them beating up on Minnesota? Is it them now playing better against the rest of Major League Baseball, which the Royals have struggled to do over the last 2.5 years or so? I can't tell you exactly where the runs or where the Royals wins are going to come from. But what I'm telling you is that is a very, very difficult stat to me to completely ignore. They have played 26 games against the White Sox. They have won 22 of them. So far this season, they are 2-3 in their 5 games against them. So if they were playing a 5-game series, they would have lost that series against the White Sox. And they are playing under 500 baseball in a 300-game sample against everybody else not named Chicago. So the Royals got to make those wins up somewhere. If you think this can be an 85-win team, they are not getting to 85 because they just beat up on the Chicago White Sox. They did that because they got much better against the rest of Major League Baseball.
Or they're going to have to find another team to turn into the White Sox, which is going to be tough to do when you're near the bottom of the AL Central. You need the Twins to be the team you beat up on. They're 2-1 against them this year. It could be the Twins you beat up on. Maybe you find a team, you turn around and you start throttling the Guardians. You haven't done it so far this year, but maybe that starts happening. If you are going to be a team that can't beat up on the free space, right there on your bingo card, then you got to find someone else to gobble those wins against. The Twins are bad. It could be a team like them, but you got to find it up somehow, some way, because the path for the Royals to be a playoff team, much like in 24, is 85, 86, 87 wins. 82 and 80, which is kind of what they're tracking to this year, similar to last year, is just not good enough to get it done.
I mean, I mentioned this earlier. There's only 2 questions that we should be asking about the Royals right now. All the other topics and all the other conversation are noise and filler. They're great conversations to have. If you want to have a conversation about Salvi and getting back on track, sure. You want to talk about Vinny Pasquantino, you're excited about Jack Caglione, those are all good things to talk about. There's 2 questions about the Royals. Will the Royals get back to 500? And if the Royals get back to 500, when in the calendar do they do it? Because all the conversations that we can have about the Royals, they don't mean anything if you're under 500. We sit here, and the Royals are currently in last place in their division. They have scored the fewest amount of runs in their division. They have the worst run differential. Now, I'm not here to put down the Royals. The Royals got themselves back into this conversation. The Royals are within striking distance of the best team in the American League Central. The Royals can get hot again. They've won 6 of their last 10 games, so the Royals are not out of it. But they have created a lot of work for themselves because of how bad they were in the first 25 games of the season. So they have made their job that much harder now in games 20 through 60 to try to get themselves back to 500. We have looked at June 1st as being one of those target dates. Can they get themselves to 500 or one game under by the time they play the Yankees on Memorial Day? Because we know over the last 2 years, the Yankees have treated the Royals the way the Royals have treated the White Sox. They have just smacked around the Royals the last 2 years that they have played them. The Royals play the Yankees on Memorial Day and that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Can the Royals be at 500 or slightly over 500 by the time the Yankees come into town? Because you would have to presume that the Royals are going to lose that series to the Yankees. That's what the last 2 years would tell me. They are not winning a series against New York.
You're telling me, and I mean, I'll tell you this year tells you that they were uncompetitive in the series earlier this year. I still hold out for Vern's based on how bad the AL Central is. Vern has been saying middle of June. And I'm betting, and I haven't talked to Vern about this, but I'm betting part of his middle of June thought is because the AL Central is bad. I keep calling it the NFC South. So if you're back at or above 500 by the middle of June, I think because of what the division you play in, you're in the thick of the race. And you can, you're a hot streak away from being great. You're a cold streak away from the sky falling. But incrementally get back to above 500 by the middle of June, which includes when you have 10 games against the division, you can't go 5-5. You go 6-4 or better. When you have, the Yankees in town, you can lose a series to the Yankees. They're better than you, but then you can't turn around and lose a series to the Mariners, who you are better than right
or
now.
Texas, or Texas. One of those
you
kind
can't.
Of teams.
So middle of June is my target, much like Vern's. And the reason I agree with Vern on here is because the AL Central is just, calling it bad is really, really unfair to things that are bad. It's really bad in the AL Central.
All right. What I would like to do for hit number 2 is I would like to recap this if you missed it. Because there's some things on this show that maybe I'm the only one that enjoys it. And you know what? When the show's in your name, you can kind of do that sometimes. I like making fun of other fan bases. It just brings me a happiness and a warmth that I like to share with you guys. Now, maybe you guys think that I'm being unfair to the Denver Broncos. I certainly hope not, but maybe you feel that way. I think right now Broncos fans are being absolutely ridiculous. So yesterday, we found out that the Chiefs and Broncos were going to play each other the first week of the season. But Adam Schefter said they didn't know where the game was going to be played. We then found out the Chiefs were going to host the game. Broncos fans went nuts. And I didn't understand it because maybe I'm wrong, but don't the Chiefs have to go play in Denver at some point? The week 1 game is not the only game between these two teams. The Chiefs get a home game and the Broncos get a home game. So I don't really care the win. Every team gets at least 8 home games. Every team gets at least 8 road games. Maybe you get international in there. Maybe you get extra game. It all evens out. Broncos fans came off as entitled. We earned a home game in week 1. No. There's only one team in the league that earned a home game in week 1. It's Seattle. That's it. Nobody else. Not Kansas City, not Denver, not New England, not any of these other teams. No other team has earned being at home in week 1 other than Seattle. The only thing that winning your division guarantees you is a home playoff game. It does not get you extra other privileges. It's not how this works. Now, if you want to hang a flag because you won your division, great. That's fine. I don't care. But it is not guaranteed that you get to host the next season. The Chiefs won their division 9 straight years. The Chiefs did not open up every season at home in week 1. Last year, they played a game in Brazil that would have been a Chargers road game. What are we arguing? This is dumb. Then I got to listen to Mark Schlereth. No beef, no shade towards Mark Schlereth, but he's trying to sympathize. He understands why Broncos fans are complaining about this nonsense. I would have told him the truth.
I mean, let's throw a little respect on Kansas City, what they've done over the last decade. Plus, when you think about all the ancillary things that go along with that, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, now they're married, she's going to be up in the box, all the things that add to, this is about the schedule release is about what gives us the best TV ratings. And, the NFL is no fools. They're not a $20 billion a year business because they don't understand, the television aspect of it and how much money that brings in. So I get it. I think it should be here in Denver. I mean, you swept them last year. You won the division. You went 14-3. You went to the AFC Championship game, albeit without your quarterback. You probably should have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl, and you have to open up on the road. I understand why. You should be pissed if you're Broncos country.
What would you be mad about? You get a home game, they get a home game. I mean, we all know how these NFL schedules work. The Chiefs are not going on the road week 2 to Denver. They're not starting with 2 back-to-back divisional games against the same team. The Broncos are going to get the home game later in the season. What's the bigger advantage? Is the bigger advantage playing a team at home in your division at week 1 or playing them in your building on week 14 in your building? What are we arguing? This is so dumb. Then I'm reading text, and I really feel like I'm in a bizarro world. Ben DiNucci, who played quarterback in the NFL. This is dumb. The Broncos won their division and hosted the AFC Championship. The game should be in Denver. I'm reading. I'm serious. I really felt like I was in bizarro world for a second, that I'm reading all of this. Maybe this is just the internet, but some of these people are ridiculous. The Broncos won the division, and they have to start on the road? Wow. Goodell will do anything for the Chiefs to have an advantage. How is it an advantage if both teams have the same thing? How is it an advantage? Another Broncos fan, this is lame. We can still win there, but the Broncos earned a home opener. I mean, I could keep reading this. I mean, I'm telling you, people, it's mind-blowing to me that they feel this way. Maybe this is just the internet, right? And people will complain on the internet. I mean, that is where complainers congregate. That's where they congregate. They go on the internet to complain with other people they've never met before, and they bond over that commonality. But this is one of the things that it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't care when Kansas plays Kansas State at home in basketball. They have to play there eventually. What does it matter? I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I understand the Broncos won for the first time in a while. They've been a dormant franchise, and maybe they don't know how the rest of this works, but I assure you, winning your division does not guarantee you. I mean, the Patriots went to the Super Bowl and won the AFC. They start the season on the road. Shouldn't the Patriots be at home then? Somebody has to go on the road. The only teams that can't go on the road are just not the Raiders and the Giants. The Giants host on Sunday Night Football for the first game of this. Half of the teams are at home. Half of the teams are on the road. We all know this. It's mind-blowing to me. It is. It's genuinely mind-blowing to me.
There are some things like in this job where I come into work and I know it's, hey, schedule release day. Here's the expectation. Hey, it's the playoffs. Here's the expectation. It's opening week expectation. I get it. I was truly befuddled when I saw the Chiefs were playing the Broncos on Monday Night Football. That a talking point that we would have to discuss, and it's Broncos fans' fault, is that they don't deserve the game. It's the dumbest thing I think I've heard in a long, long, long time.
It's a divisional game. That's what I don't understand. It's a divisional game. The Chiefs didn't do anything to deserve it either. It's just the way the schedule goes. You get some of your games at home. You get some of your games on the road. It's a fair proportion. Go win your games. You're worried about the wrong things. This is fear is what it is. That's what it has to be. It has to be fear. That's what it is. It's just.
Do you think they'd be having this talking point if it was a 325 on CBS, or is it only because of Monday Night Football?
I don't know. I don't want to get inside their brain. I don't want to do that. It doesn't seem like the right thing for me to be doing. Rob, we got like 90 seconds left on the show. Who do you think wins tonight's NBA game?
I'm taking the Cavs. I don't trust the Pistons. They look shaky against the Magic.
You trust Cleveland?
I trust Donovan Mitchell.
They still got James Harden on their team?
I mean, maybe they can contain his
evil.
evil.
So they got James Harden on the team?
Maybe they can contain his badness.
Is it May? Well, I don't know why you trust that guy. I don't know. History would tell you that's a terrible idea. You're riding with James Harden in a pivotal playoff game on the road. Okay, all right. Hey, good luck. Good luck is what I would like to pass to you, my brother. Good luck. I had a lot of fun today. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun today. Do we have anything planned for tomorrow? I don't know. No clue. I think Frank Caliendo might be on the show tomorrow. It's a lot that might happen tomorrow.
A lot of TBD.
Oh yeah, a lot of TBD. Andy Reid might be on the show.
Who knows?
They told us he was coming on the show, then told us not to say. It's a lot. I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but when I know you